And I'm out of breath. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Wednesday midweek live stream show. That's right. I'm your host, a balding, bearded asshole. The Potsquatch, the one, the only, the hairy. All right. Now, give me just a moment here, and we should be able to get this going for you. Let me just try to quickly see if I can pull up the show, and then I'll be able to say hi to everybody. All right. Nope, wrong thing. Sorry. Bear with me, everyone. Bear with me. Do 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 do. All right. Oh, it's playing an ad. Sorry, gotta enjoy the fact that we won the appeal on that. Now let's turn my fucking audio off on this, and let's take a moment here to say hello to everybody. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Yo to you, Irish Wanderer. What's up, Ethan McDonald? Good afternoon to Sudbury, Ontario, from the Fraser Valley in British Columbia. What's happening, Buzz B? What's crackalacking? What's up, James Leach? Yeah, that's right. Oh, I don't know about the Hail to Potsquatch. I mean, that makes me feel funny. But thank you for the love. What's up, Nathan Burrow? What's up, Reef Wilson? Stuart Parkins, good to see ya. What's up, Mike, the Safer Ride Squatch? Hope Vasquez, what's happening, baby? What's up, Stuart Parkins? Good to see you, buddy. Little Stewie in the house, everybody. What's up, Johnny Summertime? What's crackalacking, baby? What's up, James Leach? What's up, Thomas Bolin? What's up, Corey Dice? What's up, Luke Paul? What's up, David Gauthier? What's up, Chris Meyer? Ah, from North Vancouver there. Good to see you from North Van there, out here in the Fraser Valley, my friend. It's going well. Squatch Father, I like that, actually. I won't lie. I like that. I'm doing well, Byron. I hope you're doing well. What's happening, Adam Henson? What's up, D. Solomon? What's up, Chris Treloar? What's up, Kermit Frug? What's up, Peter Vigna? Jesse Lullen, good to see you, buddy. I'm doing well, Eugene. How you doing? Good afternoon to you, Michael Kennedy. Daniel Andrassi, what's up, buddy? It's going well, my friend. What's happening down to your mama? Thomas Boland, good to see you. All right. 1 second here, everybody. I'm going to do one quick thing on my phone here. Basically, what do we got to do? Turn on the do not disturb shit on my phone. And that way, we won't get any wonderful little weird sounding shit done. And then we should be good to go now. There we are, my friend. Sorry, it took me a second there. And there we go. How does that camera look there? Does that look all right? Let's put it further back there, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to switch to a different part of this tripod there. There's two little motherfuckers that hold the phone, right? So we might be able to get a slightly better look here. Using this one there. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see here. How's that angle look now? Does that look good? Yeah, good enough. You know? Good enough. There we go. All right, my friends. Let's get down and into this show. So, I've been having a good week, pretty much overall. The ladies are looking bushy. This is true, my friend Jesse. Simply put, one of the things that we need to do is I definitely need to drop the lights. I mean, I've been meaning to do that for a couple of weeks. Why do we need to drop the lights? Well, if the light is too far away and the plant is wanting more light, then it's going to actually start reaching for the light, causing a stretch in terms of our nodal spacing. A little bit of stretch initially on, I like. Overall, though, they're getting to a point where I don't need it as much anymore. So what I might do is drop the lights down And I'm still debating on whether I'm going to top again, to be completely honest with you. I'm kind of happy with the amount of tops that we have. I don't want them to get too crazy big, and they're already going to get fairly bushy, and we're going to have a number of plants in here. It's going to be a good run this time, you know what I'm saying? So in that regard, I might not top. But definitely time to drop the lights, though. Meant to do it a while back, but, you know, never did it. Usually I'm rocking an 18.6 these days, God, not your mama. I haven't actually reprogrammed the timer, so I've been freestyling it. So some days it's 18.6, some days it's more like a 20, and then 4. No, Daniel Andrassi, I mean, I may know the technique by a different name, but I do not know that name in terms of the technique, my friend. Stuart Parkins, as I shared in the update video yesterday, I'm thinking I'm going to transplant these in about a week. So I was debating on whether I do it now or veg them out a little bit more. I'm going to veg them out a little bit more, and a big part of my reasoning behind that is I like to have nice, tight, root-bound root balls in my 1 or 2 gallon pots when I transplant. Why do I like that? Well, I like it because it functions as like a grenade. A slow controlled explosion in terms of the actual root development on transplant happening. So that'll be a good positive thing that I'm looking forward to. And that's basically my approach to it, and that's why we're going to be doing that for another week before we transplant. What's happening, District Records, everybody? District Records, Caden Crooks in the house. Welcome to the show, bud. We'll give you a special shout out there, everybody. This is Caden's last week of work before he goes back to school. He's on his way to go to med school. That's right. He's got to go become a doctor to be my private physician when I go get, you know, shanked or something. All right. Good job on you, Caden. Proud of you, buddy. Going after that educational dream, and I'm proud of you for it, buddy. All right. Let's see here. Stuart Parkins. Do you have roots protruding at the moment? And I get the root going at the moment. No, well, like, I mean, there's the odd, like, root coming out here or there, etc. They're not really going to grow out of that as much as they did before on some of the pink kush, because partly I was actually watering without drip trays, and they were sitting in a mild water, so that'll help them if they're kind of doing, like, almost like a floodplain style kind of a thing, and then they will come out of the pot a lot more than that. So I've been keeping it pretty dry in terms, like, it's just a table, right? And so I don't let them sit in water, so they haven't come out. But, like, there's, like, little roots sticking out of holes. But, yeah, no, like, here's one right there. I can see her. Hello. But, yeah, so long story short, my friends, looking forward to this transplant. I really think this is going to be a great run. We're definitely going to have a lot of shit going down, you know what I'm saying? Definitely going to be, because like the last run we only had 6 plants. There's 29 on this table right now. So, you know, basement arithmetics, you know. Oop. Okay, so Chris Meyer, in terms of basic gallon sizing, I mean, obviously you're going to want, bigger is always better, typically, in a lot of ways. Especially when it comes to outdoor. 5 gallon is kind of a bare minimum in my opinion. I mean, I do have some friends who do very well, and they prefer to flower in just 3 gallons, but they do a shit ton of plants in their grows and like to keep them a little bit smaller. 5 gallons kind of the minimum for me. I like to do either a 5, a 10, a 15, or a 20. In terms of outdoors, in my humble 2 cents, the bare minimum would be about a 20-gallon pot. I mean, it doesn't mean you're not going to do well in a 5-gallon or something outdoors. That's not what I'm saying. But bigger is always better in terms of that. More roots, more fruits, baby. And I mean, at the end of the day, where, you know, certain giant pots may not be conducive to certain indoor grows if you don't have a lot of space, because that will lead them to get vastly bigger. You know, outdoors, I'd say 5 is a bit small. But I mean, it's late in the season right now, so just finish her off and keep her running. I'm also not a big fan of fabric pots. Really don't like the things. I prefer my old school plastic shit or ceramics. Ceramics are the best if I can afford them, but God, to get a big ceramic pot's quite expensive. But so at the end of the day, Why do I not like fabric pots? Well, because it's really hard to actually properly hydrate the entire root ball in medium. It leaks out the sides. It makes flushing a bitch. It centralizes kind of water in certain spots, or moisture as it were, and I'm just not a fan of that. So that's why I don't like them. But hey, I mean, to each their own. Just because I don't do a technique or don't like something does not mean it's not valid. It does not mean you can't do it. It just means I don't like it. There's 1,001 highways to the same end destination, my friend. All right, let's get back here and do some reading. How many people are watching? It's not updating how many people are watching right now. It says there's 24 people watching on my phone, but I've got a feeling that's probably wrong. All right, let's play catch up here. No, so Hope Vasquez, I've used them in terms of just trying them, but I hate them. What's up, Gazos? Good morning to the land of the Kiwis. What's up, Anthony's Rumble? Good to see you. The Big Butt Shepherd, welcome to the show. OG Zeno, good to see you. Oh, thank you very much for enjoying the channel, my friend. I enjoy making it for all of you. Let me just make sure I've read everything. All right. What's up, that guy? Channel 2, long time no see. Good to see you. Cultivador JP Grows. Good to see you, my friend. What's 7075? What's that in terms of Celsius? Someone do the math for me if you don't mind. What's up, Nathan Burrow? Good to see you. No, I don't really follow their shit per se, Nathan. The only thing that I've adopted really from their charts for the most part would be that usually at transition I go straight across the board in terms of the mix on whatever I choose to do in terms of levels. So I may not be following their levels, but at transition I will follow what they recommend for transition, which is keeping all three parts equal and of that. But typically in terms of feeding, for me personally, I kind of freestyle everything as I go. I mean, to be fair, it would only be firing up one more light. I've got three double squatches going right now. I'm just using the one to do the cucumbers there. And the one giant cucumber, I'm pretty sure is pretty much ready to harvest there. If I leave it too long, it'll get all bitter and hard and shit. Thank you, everybody. 53 watching. Awesome. That's beautiful. One second here. I'm just playing catch up now. Nice. What are you smoking on tonight, Ganjanana, you old mama? Big Bud Shepherd. How many plants would I put into a 4x4 tent? Well, typically with the way I grow in a 4x4, I'm going to put about 4. See, the funny thing is, Hope Vasquez, in the a little bit over 20 years I've been doing this, I would never even say that a plastic pot's going to give you mold in terms of your bud. I don't personally feel that would actually be related in any way. But again, that's my personal 2 cents on it. If you've got proper drainage holes on a plastic pot with some form of, like you just use basic hydroponic substrate on the bottom there, you can use pebbles, you can use broken ceramic shards, you can use glass even, as just giving yourself some proper fucking runoff and drainage in the bottom of your pot, you're not going to have any issues in terms of mold. If you're getting mold on your bud, that's because your relative humidity is too high. It has nothing to do with the pot necessarily, in my personal opinion. But yeah. Anyway. All right, 1 second here. Everyone's talking and I'm missing it. Yeah, no, I hate that. That's why I love the one dehumidifier that I rock here has a built-in auto drainage, right? So, I mean, obviously I've got to have a drain for it to go into, but it's a great function to have in terms of that. So, I mean, that's one little thing. If you're in the market for buying yourself a dehumidifier, look for one that has an auto drainage. It'll usually have a little spout in the back that you can just screw a hose onto, and you'll be good to go. One second here, everybody. Just playing Skittles. Oh, very big popular strain in this day and age. Helcomaniac, all of the soils I buy come with microzyme in them. So I use ProMix HP with microzyme, so I don't have to spend additional money on it. I'm getting a big ProMix HP brick for about 35 or 40 bucks. That's Canadian, obviously. And it's great shit. Love it. Easy to use, good to go, and ready to rock. Any thoughts on hydro versus soil? Yeah, many. I mean, obviously, I prefer dirt. That's what I'm using. Hydroponics are okay. They are, if they're what you're into, they're what you're into. I find them vastly far too finicky at the end of the day, really, for running cannabis. I don't think it's good for the newer grower to play around with. There's a lot of stuff you need to be able to keep dialed in and have a good basic understanding of a few different points to make hydroponics successful. I also personally feel that hydroponics don't produce the same type of weed as dirt does. I personally find when properly done, dirt-grown weed just tastes better, smells better, hits better, and is stronger. You might be able to kind of have a slightly faster window running hydro, and there's a little bit easier if you keep it all dialed in to kind of get, fast bloom and this or that, blah, 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 blah. But as I always say, one of my biggest teachings would be patience, man. Patience is a big thing when it comes to growing. So I prefer dirt. So I'm not a big fan of hydro myself, but doesn't mean it's not a very valid technology. Doesn't mean it's not amazing. Doesn't mean it doesn't work really well when done properly. It's just not my personal vehicle for transportation, as it were, onto the end destination of growing weed titties, right? I like getting my hands dirty. Hey, nice. What do you got growing, Jason Houlihan? Powered by McFall. McFall? I'm not sure what that means, but all right. Growing BF Purple Punch and some smoothie. Nice, my friend. The Big Bud Shepherd says, thanks. Would you stay... What? Would you stay to one strain? What do you mean? In terms of doing hydro? Or, what's up, Todd Batts? What's up, Stony Baker MD? Malcolm Smith, good to see you, my friend. Well, Malcolm Smith, there's a lot of videos that we already have where we talk about this bottom binding technique. It's why are we doing it? It's to maximize yield, okay? We're manipulating the plant to trick it into feeling very strong at its bottom, so it's focusing when we do flip into flower with this bottom binding technique to the plant. It's basically manipulating the plant into sending more of its energy into producing flower and being less afraid of breaking itself, and so it won't be putting as much work into trying to hold itself up. Now, mind you, we're going to have to do a couple of things along with that in order to be able to do that. Affects Android. I don't think Ganjanana, your mama, meant to delete your comment, and I don't think she meant to hide you. So, everyone, I want to talk about something weird that has been happening in live streams for a couple of weeks now, so please don't take it personally. If you didn't say anything wrong or weren't a dick, and you've been muted or this or that by one of our mods right now, it's not... Yeah, see, it's not Ganjanana, your mama. It's weird. It happened the other day a bunch with Mike by accident. It's almost like someone is accessing the show that isn't our moderators, but it's saying they are. I don't know what it is. It could be just weird, but it has been happening. So please know that it's not personal. Unless you are being an asshole, well, then it definitely was on purpose. But other than that, so Apex Android, don't take that personally, my friend. That was unintentional on our part. Something weird has been... Oh, it was... Okay, so you accidentally clicked it, and that's fine, Ganjanana, your mama. Yeah. Aha! I understand, my friend. It makes sense now, my friend. Thank you for clarification. It happens, Stoney. Oh, I agree with you, Art of War on two wheels. I mean, if you've got backups for everything, I mean, that's the best way to go about it. I mean, let's take a look at, Star Trek, for example, for those of you who've watched it. A Star Trek ship has, like, redundancies on redundancies, and always having a backup system is great. If you look at the space shuttles that we build, they all have redundant systems, too. One breaks, you got a backup. That backup breaks, you got another backup. I mean, obviously, that requires a fair amount of money. So, I mean, if you don't have backups, it's not the end of the world. Just making sure to stay on top of where ages on things are. For example, like your carbon filter. Know roughly what the age or lifetime span on your carbon filter is, and then make sure you switch it out before it was an issue. Ours just died. We just bought a new one the other day. I switched up companies because supposedly the new one I bought is vastly superior. I've got it in the other room there. I haven't installed it yet. Powered by McThal. I think we're related. You never know. I'm an Irish, Scottish, Welsh, German, and English person of heritage, half Newfie. If you got any of that in you, we could be distant cousins. You never know. Okay, so are you talking about LED tubes that are meant to be a replacement to a fluorescent tube for T5 ballast? They're all right. Ain't great, but they're all right. They're an interesting premise to use older tech with newer tech. So in basic motif, I definitely say it is a better option than running a standard T5 in your fixture with the driver for it, or the ballast, I should say. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not going to replace an actual high output, high intensity discharge LED lighting system, in my opinion. But it will be a very nice upgrade that you can do with a standard T5 rig to take it to the next level. Plus, you know, it will have comparable power consumption with greater light output, right? So that's what I opinion. You know what I'm saying? One second here. Well, you know what? It's funny, right? Like, I mean, you know, I am a bit of a nerd and a bit of a Trekkie, I'll admit. And, you know, it was always fun on episodes where, like, an alien species would come to one of their spaceships and be like, you've got a redundancy on a redundancy on a redundancy. What the fuck is that? Like, you know, it's like, well, we kind of need it. You know, if that one fails, then that one has. And that one fails, got that one, right? Okay, so, but, yeah, that guy channel 2, it's regardless of voltage, right? I'm assuming we're talking about just a standard T5 style, high intensity discharge LED replacement. Is that what you're talking about? Or is it something else? And if it is something else, send me an email now with the link to the product that you're talking about to potsquatch420@gmail.com, and I'll pull it up right now and I'll take a look at it for you and give you my humble 2 cents. Hey! Well, thank you for tuning in, Jose Canella. Welcome to the show, my friend, and I hope work is treating you all right. I kind of do my initial lollipop or stripping, usually about when they're about this tall, maybe I'll start doing it. And on some plants, I might go a little bit higher than I initially will. But see, with this technique, you get solid bud development all the way down to wherever your nodes are left to start. So I wouldn't say I take the lollipopping further throughout flower, but I definitely maintain it. So if we get new growth on bottoms here throughout the plants, I'm going to go back and I'll re-strip that out because it will throw off new shoots sometimes, right? Okay, sounds good, that guy channel 2. And if you want to send me an email with that, though, before the next show, which will be this Sunday, I can have like a chance to take a look at it before the show, and then I can give you my opinion on it. Well, Texas Squelch, you can hear my voice at least, and that's good, because we don't want you to drive off the road. I love how I'm like holding my phone like I'm talking into it. It must be talking about all the Star Trek. Scotty! Have a wonderful day at work, Stony Baker MD, my friend. What's up there, PIY? I hope you're doing well. What? Where's Texas Pete? I didn't see Texas Pete. When did Texas Pete get in the show? I didn't see Texas Pete. What's up, Clay S? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. One second here. I'm going to go out of this and try to go back into the show now. Because it says it's just not updating how many people are watching. Yeah, see, 70. It was saying 24 people were watching. There's actually 72 people watching. Trips me out, man. All right, let's skip this. There we go. Now we're back in the show. Turn on live chat. Not top chat, live chat. There we go. Perfect. All right. What are my thoughts on air cloners? Like, do you mean like an aeroponic cloner? In terms of aeroponics, I mean, you know, they're just as valid as anything else. I mean, make sure you have sufficient sprayers to make sure nothing's drying out. I still prefer cloning in water. I'm old-fashioned, everybody. I mean, at the end of the day, there's something to be said for just the old-school water cloning technique. No domes, no nothing. You just put it in goddamn water. No rooting hormone. And yes, it takes a little bit longer at times, but I mean, it has quite a decent success rate of usually anywhere from 80, 85% to 100%. Unless it's a really stubborn genetic, which they do happen. And then I would maybe use a double dip where I use both a gel and a powder there. But, I mean, you know what? I mean, it's the oldest cloning technique in the world. Cut the fucking branch, trim the leaves, scrape some shit, throw it in water. Make sure you change that water out every few days because you don't want any goopies happening in there. But you'd be astonished at how effective it is. And especially if you think ahead and you do it where it's not like you're trying to rush this clone out the door, quote unquote, then, you know, it's just a great technique and it costs very little to do. All right, so here, I've missed some shit here. Give me, yeah, 7 of 9 was definitely hot. Except though, if you look into the actual filming of that, a lot of her body was actually a bodysuit, and they actually had her sewn into corsets sometimes for that show. She was actually having health issues from the costume they made her wear as an actress to play 7 of 9 to get that perfect looking hourglass that she had. On more than one occasion would pass out on set from that. So that was pretty horrific, actually, if you look into the history of the actress and what she had to put up with to play that role. Poor woman. My God. I have not used their PK Spike yet. I will hopefully one day have tried all of their products, but I'm kind of, you know, I gotta buy everything I use, right? So slowly working my way, playing with those secondary products that they have, but I haven't tried that one yet. Jerry Rodgers says, "Hey Pot, got a question. I'm in the Midwest, okay, and it's getting cooler. My plants have been budding for a month. You probably need till the end of October. How cold is it getting at night, Jerry?" The main thing that's going to happen in terms of a plant that's still in flowers, if it gets too low, it's going to cause nutrient lockout on your plants once it hits, you know, like 3 or 4 degrees. Weird things are going to start happening in that regard. If it's not getting too cool though, and especially as long as it's still staying fairly warm during the day, you should be able to keep it going. One thing to watch out for too is rain. There's a massive rainstorm hitting today here. A lot of moisture coming down, and it's going to be here all week. So anyone locally to the Fraser Valley, please be aware that watch for bud rot, build a scrim, build something to divert some of that rain. And also too, if you get any breaks in the rain and if your plant's pretty close to finishing, I would tell you to chop now if it's good to go enough, because there's going to be a lot of bud rot. I guarantee in the next week, I'm going to get a call from a lot of friends having issues with PM and bud rot in the local area out here after the amount of moisture that we have. Cultivator JP grows in terms of relative humidity for drying. I like 55. 55 relative humidity is my happy place, and I like cooler temperatures as well, if possible. Okay, 1 second here. Hope Vasquez, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, so cultivate there at JP Grows. Like I said, dry and 55. I like to keep it on the cooler side, so like 6 to 8 degrees Celsius if you can make that happen. Obviously, that's, you got to have a big AC unit pretty much to do that. But I mean, it's what I like to do if I can get away with it. That's why I like the winter. I know it a little bit, not tons though, raw power, but I am vaguely aware of what you're talking about. Vaguely aware of it. The world's fucked, buddy, and I mean, a lot of weird trends and popular things take hold sometimes. Sometimes I hear about new fads or trends or things that are going on, and I'm just sort of sitting here out in the woods going, what the fuck? And I thought we were stupid when I was a kid. Okay, 1 second here. Nice, Clay S. What did you crop out yesterday? Adam Hansen, how would you maximize my yield? Oh, well, that's a very loaded question, and then I could literally talk about that for an hour straight. Obviously, initial training is important. Root medium size is important. Having enough light's important. Having enough feed is important. Using my club soda trick or carbonated water trick I came up with. That's a great one. CO2 injection's good. However, be careful, it can kill you. Do the pluck at the last week. Selective defoliation to maximize nodal sites air movement. I mean, there's so much shit you can do. There's a lot of tricks, man. But that's a couple of real quick references to a number of things. Go back and watch what I'm doing on these plants, and then watch what I did on the plants before these ones. I talk about that a lot in the initial videos about techniques to maximize yield in terms of initial training, in my humble 2 cents. Well, Jose Canella, I mean, overwatering is possible regardless of pH. I really have to see some pictures of it to give you my honest 2 cents, but yeah, I know. At least you're in Ontario farmer. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than BC. I mean, fuck, the amount of rain we get here. Last year was horrible for bud rot and PM for people. I mean, they got fucked hard out this way. So, definitely time to, one, I hope you amputated the bud rot and dealt with that, and then did a very close check both on that whole plant, but then the surrounding plants to the generalized area, if it is such a large garden as you say. And it's definitely time to start thinking about bringing her down then. Yeah, high tower gardens, some genetics will take 3 to 6 weeks to root. That's why I'm also a big fan of using the water technique, because they can stay alive. Another little great trick in that is actually taking a tab of aspirin. Let's say you got a 250 milligram tab of aspirin. Take like half of that, crunch that up, and let's say you're putting it into like, let's say 500 milliliters of water. That'd be perfect. So half liter. That can actually help to keep your cutting alive longer while it's taking root. Fun little trick there. It is basically playing on the fact that, okay, so aspirin's acetylsilic acid, right? Silic acid is actually produced naturally within the plant when it's trying to defend itself, keep itself alive, it's being attacked by pests. So when we introduce that either into a foliar spray or use it in water to turn as a clone, it's just helping to invigorate the cells and keep them on the guard, on the go, on the ready to rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? So that's another fun little trick to play with. Thank you, Paul M. Oh. Nope, not currently right now, Jason Julian. Simply put, I need to get some other equipment and setups done so I can actually start breeding again. So I need to get a couple of tents and sort of figure out where I'm going to do that in the house and probably in the office over there. So I got to buy a few toys before I'm ready to breed. I've got a number of different types of pollen on hand now to play with. I'm going to be keeping my eye open for all males that will be coming through. We are popping a number of beans. But so no news on that regard yet, except I do have some exciting things coming. I'll just leave it at that. We won't get into that now. But I've got a lot of things in store for all of you in the long run, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So. Do. Mikey Miller, no such thing as a dumb question, my friend. So ask away. Okay, so Mikey Miller says, can I mother out a clone? Yep. And take clones from said mother clone. Yep. Okay, no. So Mikey Miller, what you've heard is talking about eventual genetic degradation that will set in regardless of any strain. Sometimes you can clone a clone, a clone, a clone for 1,000 times without any genetic degradation. Sometimes it'll set in fairly quickly. So that's why it's best to try to avoid doing that and making that your regular habit. But cloning a clone of a clone occasionally, not a big deal. What you've read or heard about or what that is actually talking about eventual genetic degradation where the genetic sample will lose vigor in and of itself throughout time. Sometimes, though, when it seems that this has been genetic degradation, that can actually be a viral buildup or something in the plant itself, which then you can actually rectify by using a tissue culture in order to clone it and bring it back. Yeah, I hope that helps. Excuse me. What's up, Turbo Grows? Indoors or outdoors, Raw Power? Good. I'm glad you did, Chris Meyer, because at the end of the day, without a tarp or something to protect those, you are going to get fucked by bud rot. So, and also, too, even if you have a tarp or a scrim set up over your plants to reduce water hitting the plant, remember that the relative humidity, the ambient relative humidity outside right now in this local area is going to be extremely high. So, bud rot is still a threat, okay? Especially if where your grow is does not get a lot of natural wind movement through. So this is where we all need to go on to red alert and keep a close eye on our outdoor crops here in the Fraser Valley and in the Greater Vancouver area right now. Yes, Ontario Farmer, it's an indoor trick utilized by many BC growers. It's called the final pluck. You do it the last week. You strip pretty much all the fan leaves off. I very rarely will go super hard myself on it, but the reasoning behind this one is you've already had, hopefully, a nice natural leach happen on a lot of those fan leaves. So there's not tons of nutrition left in them anyway. They're not going to be great after that zapping of nutrition to really be providing much photosynthesis anyway. So when we strip those leaves off in the final week, it triggers your buds to densify and trichify, okay? It's going to make a denser bud. It's going to make a more potent bud. It's going to bring out that last push. So for that last week, it'll go through that physical change. Then you go into the darkness period indoors, and that gives a final perfect push for using all those last sugars, you know? And then, man, you cook that whole bitch down, dry it nice and slow, and you're good to go, right? So, but yeah, that's what I said. It's a thing. Trust me, many do it. It's called the final pluck, or at least that's what I call it. You'll start seeing results within 24 hours, most results by 72. Within a week, though, you should see most soil-bound issues fucked up by the right beneficial nematodes there, my friend Grow YVR. Cassidy Dental. I've been having issues pushing them off this year. What do you mean by pushing them off, my friend? I don't quite follow. Indoors? Okay, Raw Power, and how much light do you have? I don't have Super Thrive. No, I don't, Rosin Smoke. John Dauber, you can do that. I'm not a big fan of doing the stock split. I am a big fan of doing a similar basic premise technique. It's a different physical application. So rather than splitting the stalk, we're going to use microagitation where we take a pin and shank all up and down the branches of your plants. Not all the way through, just piercing the skin, okay? That's actually not going to damage the actual circulatory system of the plant, right? Like a main stalk split will. So I actually think it's a vastly superior technique because it's causing less damage with the same effects, if not, if anything, a better effect in terms of what the desired final push and triking out is. So I would say, and you can use microagitation throughout the entire flowering period if you'd like. On fragile genetics, it might trigger herming if you're not careful, so always be careful. But I mean, that's rare unless it's a really fucking finicky, fragile genetic. But vastly superior than the main stock split, my humble 2 cents. It is obviously more labor intensive. So maybe better to a smaller to medium garden or someone who has a workforce to do it for them. But it's better for the plant overall, has better results. The only drawback of it would be that it is definitely more labor intensive to execute than just walking up with a nail gun and shooting a nail through the main stalk of your plant. Yes, but Ganjanana, your mama, if you're doing it 3 or 4 days before harvest, it's not going to have enough time for that to be an issue. It'll take more than 3 or 4 days for that stalk split to cause issue. Not bad, especially for a fucking 1 liter, eh, guys? That's tiny. No, cultivator JP Grows. I would say you have more than enough air movement from that within your tent. Just make sure it's dark in there, okay? We need to be drying in the darkness, not the light, okay? But Ganjanani, your mama, if you did it too early, though, that definitely could open up the plant to having issues like that. Another great thing, like I talked about, a fun technique here is using that diluted aspirin spray. If you wanted to go to 2 gallons, let's say you had a 500 milligram aspirin tablet, I would take 1.5 500 milligram aspirin tablets to 2 gallons of water. You powder it, dissolve it in water, and you use it as a foliar spray, like using Jake's or other foliar sprays. Don't spray lights on, or if it's outdoors, do it about an hour before the sun comes up, because we don't want to cause scorching on our leaves. But that is a good way to manipulate your plant system into being on guard and super thriving, as it were, within itself, because we are using the acetylsilic acid to mimic the silic acid function within the plant to trigger that defense mechanism within itself. It's basically boosting its immune system. It's making it harder, faster, better, stronger. So it's a very legitimate technique that you can use. It's used in a lot of different gardens, not just cannabis. You use tomatoes and a lot of other plants, cucumbers, blah 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 blah. So it's a cool technique out there. You know, aspirin, not just for pain and heart attacks. Hey, what's up, Guns Wizard? How you doing, babies? What's good, man? How you doing? Having a good week? For those of you who are just tuning into the show that are new to the channel there, the link that was just shared by Mike the Safer Ride Squatch is where you find Squatch Lighting System. Brought to you by, powered by SoulScript. We're 2 little companies working for you. Growers building lights for growers. Making professional grade, high powered tech affordable and accessible and reliable and fixable. We want you to be successful. And we're very competitively priced. Actually, one thing that I found really funny the other day, I noticed that the Spider Farmer 4000 is only powered by a 240 watt main well. That's pathetic. That is so underpowered, it's not even funny. I thought they had the same driver on that thing that we do on a double squatch. But the other day I realized that it's only the 240, and I was like, okay. Yeah, because we're rocking the 480s set high on our double squatch there. And yet they're powering 4 boards with a fucking 240. Can you say put? Sorry. Had to have that fun laugh, because when I saw that I was like, and you're charging people almost $800 for the damn thing? Fuck off. Sorry, I'm done with my rant. Okay, so it's a Gen 2 150 watt, so that. Realistically, raw power, if it's just the one plant being done by that, you're gonna hope you get at least 1 gram of watt off that if the plant's as big as you say. That'd be my sort of bare minimum guess of what you should expect. Oh, well, thank you, Nathan Burr. All right, here. James Leach, big thank you for. Oh, wait, what? James Leach says, big thank you from me. Did a run of can of butter, and oh my god, I never would have tried it myself, but thanks for the help. Oh, no worries, James. How did it turn out? What did you use the can of butter for? Did you bake something? Did you use it on food? What's up, Hard Rock Pop? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Well, yeah, Stuart Parkins, but I'm talking about the bare minimum expectancy, right? So if things are done right with the newer age V2 quantum style board utilizing a Samsung chip with 150 watt draw at the wall with a decent genetic and a sativa that big, at bare minimum we should get 1 gram of wine. I'm not going to go, I would rather be more conservative on my quote because I don't want people to be disappointed, right? You can get way more than a gram of wine, but we're talking about a bare minimum expectancy on what we've heard, and so I'm going to kind of go more conservatively like that. And you know what I'm saying? Nice! I've actually got a recipe. Let's try that again. I've actually got a recipe. $1,260 for a fucking Spider Farmer 4000 being powered by a 240? Jesus Christ. Rip off! Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I just have opinions. Jesus Louises. I personally haven't had issues necessarily this year with bugs, Cassidy. I actually think this is the first year. Now, I followed my own rules, was very careful about bringing anything in. Anything that came into my grow from somewhere else was put on quarantine for an extended period of time and jakes regularly. But I haven't had any issues, but I'm not an outdoor guy. So I personally haven't really had any extra bug issues. If anything, this year seems to be better. I would say that in terms of exterior bugs that I've noticed in general, there seems to be more certain types of bugs. Like fleas have been really bad in general, like for dogs and stuff this year. But in terms of stuff affecting cannabis, I personally haven't seen anything, no. What bugs have you been specifically having issues with, my friend? Dial it back so they can eat. What does he mean by that? Like, as in, take in nutrients? Because at the end of the day, the last week it's going to be zapping itself from its natural self anyway. And CO2 being high is a good thing because that's what it breathes. So I'm not really sure what he means by that. Could you give me a bit more information as to what he was attempting to say? What's up, Dale Fukuto? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Nathan Burrow, a TS1000. You mean that's a Mars Hydrolite, not a Spider Farmer? Do you mean the SP or the SF 1000? I'm not going to get into it, but you all know how I feel about Mars Hydro. Oh, no, of course. Our lights blow Spider Farmers out of the water. They blow fucking Mars Hydro out of the water. They are top gen level tech. They will stand against anybody. And especially when it comes to cost, we are some of the most affordable around for what we build. We use the best parts around. We build them with love. We build them custom to order. They are meant to be fixable. I mean, it's just, and they're meant to run for years. Like, our shit doesn't break, and when it does, after years and years of performance, it's fixable. The mad scientist says, yo, I have a question. What? Is Mean House hand sanitizer? Should I use it to clean my dab ring out? Oh, If it's a high alcohol based hand sanitizer, you could totally use it because it's basically no different than using straight alcohol. So yeah, in my opinion, you could. Just make sure you rinse it really well afterwards. No, Jason Houlihan, gram per watt would be like if you've got 400 watts, right? It would be 400 grams for a gram of watt. There isn't like a fancy mathematical, it's literally just the ratio, right? So if you're drawing 400 watts at the wall, that's actually going into your light for light output, okay? You want to be able to, at bare minimum, get 1 gram per watt, which would then be 400 grams. Raw power tissue culture is where you take a tiny little piece of, let's say, a leaf. They use a bleach solution and then some other chemicals basically to trigger it to start replicating cells. It's kind of like a really fancy new age way of creating an asexual clone. Well, asexual clone's redundant. It's just a clone, but which is asexual. But anyway, and yeah, sure. I mean, I'm aware of sunset stuff. I've got a lot of friends who mimic the passing of the sun with their rigs. We're actually developing another light that isn't out yet. Who knows when we'll get it done, that mimics a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, I'm aware of it. But it's not quintessential to have crazy font, though. Oh, no worries, Nathan Burrow. I followed what you meant after a minute. Hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Adam Hansen, do I sell a Squatch vest like the one I'm wearing? No, this is a 50-year-old riding vest that I just put a sticker on. So one day maybe, but not currently, no. This is literally just a 50-year-old, 40 or 50-year-old riding vest that I was gifted by an old friend. That's now my vest that I like to wear, and I put a sticker on it. This is just one of our normal stickers. Oh, I know the pain, Hard Rock Pop, but remember, good things come to those who wait, and think of how high you will get when you know, after your little midget break. Mites and Stripes, aha! Didn't think it was that much of an issue up in the central interior of BC, too cool. No? No. Mites and Stripes are rampant in BC, bud. Really bad, actually. Some years are really, really, really bad. If anything, there's more bugs up there. Especially that we've been having milder winters too. That doesn't help anything. But so predatory mites would be my number one thing to say, especially if you've got a bit of time left. But I mean, it's near the end of the season, but I'd send some predatory mites in. See if you can acquire any of those locally. Predatory mites are amazing. Are you actually a seamstress, Ganchanani, your mama? And how the fuck am I just finding this out? How am I just finding this out? Raw power, it's typically, at least the guys that I've seen do it, I've never actually done it, but yeah, you can replicate from any part of this plant, as long as there's enough genetic material there, it's called a tissue culture propagation, basically. So imagine like a little vial, right, and then you take your piece of the plant, and it goes into this bleach solution, which is what removes all viral and other elements, right? So that's why it can remove viral compounds from a genetic that is then fucking with the way it performs. And then it's another chemical cocktail, basically. Like, I only have a rudimentary understanding of it. Like, I haven't done it yet, nor do I have the stuff on hand to do it. But then you basically introduce all of that into this solution, and then boo, 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 and it starts to grow, and then you pull this little thing out, and you plant it, and you're good to go. But no, it's a thing. Just search tissue culture propagation. Hell yeah, Brother Rick 702, good to see you, my friend. I'm sorry, everybody. Dale Facutos was like, Ganja, make Potsquatch a Borat banana hammock. Oh, God. I mean, I'd fill it nicely, but... Dude, that's awesome, Jason Houlihan. Great yield, my friend. Yes, as long as you keep those tissue cultures alive, raw power, which would be basically keep it cool, keep it a little bit moist, but not too moist so it doesn't mold out. But if you can get it back before the cells within that tissue culture or tissue sample dies, then 100% you can do that. 100%, bud. No, Chance Morgan, I basically crank my lights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or at least every hour that they're on. No, yeah, I don't do that. I just crank it, man. But that's just me. You could totally do that. It has legitimacy to it in every way. I just like to crank my shit. Well, if you're actually trying to get your plants to dry up faster, Cassidy, I wouldn't turn up your temperature. I would get a dehumidifier instead and rock a really dry room. As long as you stay on top of regular feedings and waterings, having it down at like a 45 is not going to harm your shit. It's actually going to be good for it. It'll make your plants more resinous as long as you have all the things there for it to be able to do that. So if you're having issues in terms of how long it's taking utilizing LED, that's actually not a bad thing in my opinion. That's a good thing. But if you're having issues with that, I would bring down the relative humidity of your space. That would be the best way to get your plants to dry out faster. $19.5's good. I'm an 18.6 kind of guy, usually raw power. 18.6 is my happy place typically. But then I've also been known to rock 24s. Like rock 48 hours on and then give them a rest for 6 hours. I've done that. 20 on, 4 off is when I really want to push it, but still give them rest every single day. But I'm usually about a 18.6 guy. 19.5, totally fine too. You can, Cody. Don't do too much, though, that late in flower, remember, because there is a fair amount of nitrogen in coffee, and nitrogen toxicity late onset in flower can reduce yield. As long as you didn't do too much, you should be fine. But I would, if you're doing anything to feed on top of that, dial in the grow or the nitrogen parts of your shit a bit, okay? Just to help counteract that. Because a little bit of nitrogen's still, good to have around during flower, but so just be careful on that one. Week 6 is a bit late, especially if it's a sort of a quicker run, like an 8 or a 9 weeker. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But yeah. Hey, brother Rick 702, what's up with you, baby? I hope you're doing well. Well, raw power, if by synthetic you mean something that's not a certified organic product, of course I do. Green Planet's not all organic and shit. Some of their products are, but yeah, so totally. I have no issues using synthetic nutrients personally. A lot of people freak out about it. I don't think it's a big deal in any sense, especially if you're using a reputable producer like Green Planet. So, well, I feel you, Nathan Burrow. Yeah, everybody, do not just go piss in your plants, by the way. You can use the urea as a fertilizer in your piss, but cook it down and shit. You can't just pee on your plant. What you can do with your piss is if you're a meat eater and you're doing an outdoor grow, don't piss on your plants, but piss around the plants. Basically, things like deer and other animals that will come and eat your plants will smell your piss as a meat eater predator, and they'll stay away. It's an old hippie trick I learned from some old hippies. These hippies ate meat, so it worked. So. Thank you, Paul M. Jason Houlihan, I like 16 hours during veg. I tried 11. I don't think the plants look like they should have a few weeks for the grow, but 16 hours for me during veg always would fine and a bit less expensive. Well, yeah, and it cost is a worry there, right? 16 is a great place to go in that regard. Are you talking to me, Ganjanana, your mama? Raw power, they're just fine with Green Planet Newts. There's not tons of salt in it, so it'll be fine. Microzyme goes completely fine with Green Planet nutrients. If you're using something like a G&H, shit's super salty, and that'd be bad. But Green Planet and Microzyme get along just fine. Eric, in theory, one could use cannabis in brewing beer. I've never actually done it. In order to get THC, other active cannabinoids, into a liquid, you need actually what is called a, what are they called? A nano-emulsification unit, which uses basically sound to overcome the partially hydrophobic nature of cannabinoids to get it to go into the liquid. However, one could argue, I haven't never done this, but hops and cannabis are genetically almost identical. So they are cousins of each other. So one could, in theory, either include weed in the mash of your beer and it might work. I don't know. Never tried it, never done it. But I have always been curious myself about that one. What would happen if we did that? I've never tried it, but it is in theory possible. I'm not sure what would happen though. Well, Pat Reddick, that's not what I saw on the breakdowns on the internet, but hey, if that's what they're doing, at least there's that, but our lights are still better. Running Bear, I've kept mother plants, at least, for example, alive for many, many years. The oldest mother plant I've ever met was about 35 years old. Yep, that's why I stopped using G&H, actually, raw power. I switched out the second they got bought out and were owned out by the devil, basically. I basically used what I had left, and then I switched over to Green Planet. Jason A., I would plant what I like to do is I like to go solo cup to 1 gallon or 2 gallon and then into my larger pots. So that kind of pot graduation, I'm a believer in that as a technique. A lot of my friends will go, instead of into a solo cup, might go solo cup to final. They might go plant into 1 and then 1 to that. It's really up to you in terms of how you want to do it. It'll all work though. Yes, raw power. 35 years old. I think it's still alive now, which would put it over 40, but I haven't talked to that friend in a while. Thank you, Mike. Yes, Cassidy Dental, just having fans in general is the better way to do that. It just makes the plant stronger. So yes, 100%, bud. You're thinking about that in the right way, Cassidy. Hell yeah, Ganjanana. Anything's possible, raw power. What's up, 60-second shorts? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Rock and roll. Welcome to the show. What kind of shorts do you do? You ever need any voiceover? Because I do a lot of voices. All right. Gazzers, all good brother. I've seen. No, they're talking. Stu Parkins and Gazzers, I'm friends with both of you personally. I think you two would get along. You should have a fucking vid call sometime. Just saying. I think you guys would get along very well. Medigrow Australia, depending on how much you add when making the beer, it either adds flavor or is infused more with the THC. All right, interesting. So thank you for sharing that, Medigrow Australia, because it's been one of the long time things I'd love to do. In theory, it works, but I've never actually personally went and played with it or tried to play with it. But raw power, my Russian accent's not meant to be legit. It's meant to be a comical over-exaggeration of standard, basic Russian sounds that North Americans identify as Russian. So I can totally mimic Russian sounds easily that are actual, but I haven't learned it, nor do I need to, and nor I won't really learn it unless I have to for an actual role. One day, though, my friend. The Russian alphabet scares the shit out of me. Anyone ever looked at Russian written that's not Russian? Very intimidating looking. I personally agree, Jason Houlihan, dirt is the best, but that's my humble 2 cents. Mikey Miller, I like the Eddie Murphy. APKAZ, I don't know actually where it originally would have, like the nanner term of talking about or pop out Hermes. I don't know where it would have originated from. My best guess would be probably either Canada or America in terms of country of origin, but it's because they kind of look like little bananas growing out of your plant, right? So you know when you look at the bud of a banana, not the part you pull open, but the bud of it, it kind of looks like that, right? So that's at least my guess as to why we call it. That's the most logical reasoning behind it. The term existed before I was a grower, so, but nanners, you know, a lot of kids and a lot of old people called bananas nanners. I think, you know, and it was very much a common phrase back in the day in Canada and the States in certain spots. So that'd be my guess anyway on it, and that's more of an educated guess, obviously, than me providing actual historical doctrine. Thank you, Adam Henson. That is probably one of the greatest compliments anyone can give to me. Robin Williams is probably one of the #1 comedic actors I look up to. Grew up watching him. Actually, my dream role, I would shave for this role, by the way, would be to play Mrs. Doubtfire if they ever remade it. I know that's a very dangerous claim. It could be career suicide, but hell, I don't have much of one anyway. But at the end of the day, I would love the chance to remake Mrs. Doubtfire. And I believe that if there's one person on this planet that could at least do it appropriately in homage to Robin Williams, I would like to think it would be myself. But that would be a dream role for me. Ha! Not true, ganja none of your mama. He has had a beard occasionally. Just not much. He normally shaves. But I would shave for that role. Good thing about my beard is it grows faster than fuck, so... Well, you know, I'm just waiting for somebody who actually is somebody one day to notice Uncle Potsquatch and give me a goddamn chance. Let's be honest. That's all I'm really waiting for in terms of my career, is to just have someone give me a bloody chance. We'll see if that ever happens. 1 second here, everybody. I'm going to pop out for a dart. Little dirty party, and then we'll come back into the lab here in just a moment. Well, I'm going to have to carry both these with me, though, because it doesn't seem to be updating the camera or the phone that I'm using as a camera properly, so I'll bring the other damn phone with me then. No, I'm going to plug that in while we're going outside, because at the end of the day, it's 17%, and we definitely have some more show to go, yo. Just a moment here. Woof, woof. Oh, my God! You murdered the dog! Oh! Bad puppies. They killed the dog, everybody. It's a murder scene. They said there can be only 2. Yes, Daddy will talk to you in a minute. 1 second here, everybody. I just gotta plug my phone in. Not the one that I'm shooting with, but the monitor phone. There we go. Get a little bit of juice in there while we go out for a dirty party. All right. Okay, why is this not doing? I had it set on top chat, not live chat. Well, something weird happened in terms of the internet. It just shut off there, but I am back and we are using the data package to do this one now. Just the puppies getting into the Halloween spirit, I guess, baby. You know what's funny, Ganja Wizard? They're actually shooting a remake of that. I think it's a TV show, but they're reshooting Turner and Hooch as we speak. Mrs. Potsquatch was supposed to work on it, but now she's working on a different show. There we go. Let's go back to the bottom here. Well, Hightower Gardens, that's why, at the end of the day, right? Like I always say, just because I don't like something or don't do something doesn't mean shit. I mean, there's 1,001 ways to the same destination, you know what I'm saying? I hate Scrogs. No, I mean, I guess I could for you. I hate Cocoa, Max Wilder. I absolutely detest it. I think it's stupid. I hate growing with it. Not a fan of cocoa personally, but I won't do a whole run cocoa, but I would be willing to do at least a plant for you in cocoa. I will do that for you. I hate cocoa. Yeah, it's a piss and raining day though here, everyone. I'll tell you. So anyone locally growing outdoors right now in either Greater Vancouver or the lower or the Fraser Valley, be aware that bud rot PM season is nigh. So be very careful and watch your plants. No, because Gajanana, your mama, typically I water every day with dirt. So, how do I feel about strain reviewing? Like as in me personally reviewing a strain? I mean, if someone wanted to send me a strain to review, whether it was a genetic or something to smoke, I'd be happy to do it. My only thing is if I were to review a strain, I'm going to be painfully honest in my opinion, and I might hurt some people's feelings because I'm a very opinionated prick when it comes to pot. I know I'm a really nice, easygoing guy, but when it comes to weed, if you want my real 2 cents on something, like it can be a little harsh at times. But yeah, yeah, you guys could do that. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If you want me to be honest about actually reviewing things, I will happily do it. But you gotta, know that I'm gonna be honest about it. I do have a lot of opinions on shit. I might do DWC one day for you. I mean, I'll experiment with anything for everyone. A lot of stuff I don't like, but that's why I only would do it on smaller scale for you. But I mean, I would be happy to do it. One of the things I really want to do on the channel is break out some of my old augmented recipes of super soil. So that was a lot of fun back in the day. I love doing that. My recipes are all based off of basic recipes from Sub Cool, right? So 1 second there. There we go. Oh, am I talking about re-vegging things? Are you let's ask again. Raw power, do you mean what is my experience in terms of a strain on its initial run versus it being re-vegged and monster cropped? Robonotic, I typically usually on a 10 gallon or more, I'm usually doing about 2 gallons a day when I'm doing it that way. But also too, like if it's taking too long to dry out, I mean, obviously I won't water or feed for a day or two. But a good way around that though too is to keep the relative humidity in terms of the space low. I mean, that'll help with that. I'm talking about reflowering, having a second harvest. Yeah, I'm aware of what you're talking about, but on a specific plant, well, typically I don't do that way, okay? I'm not going to re-veg a plant and then reflower it. I'm going to take clones of that re-vegged plant and make that plant then the mother. Re-veg, monster crop cannabis, smells better, tastes better, hits stronger, and better yield, in my humble 2 cents. In my experience with every strain I've ever done it with, which has been very many, it just improves everything. It is superior in every way, pretty much, to the original, almost every single time. I'd say 98.6% of the time. Oh well, Jason Houlihan, I'll tell you. I mean, there's one thing that won't change is just me being me. I'll always be a blunt, honest asshole, and be myself. I'm far too stubborn and set in the ways to ever have any of that change. So, Churro Grows, I've actually already tried to gift some out to Gazzers. They got intercepted in Australia. I sent Gazzers a present, and they got intercepted by the Australians. Yeah. New Zealand and Australia are notoriously some of the hardest countries, given how illegal things are there currently, to get things through, like seeds. Even though seeds are basically legal in a lot of the world as kind of a novelty with no real intention to germinate them, and that's how legally they've been sold for many moons. Before the pretend legalization in Canada, that's how it worked here too. It still works that way in the States, to my knowledge, but notoriously almost impossible to get things into. Jason Houlihan, I don't go to drum circles because most of the people who gather at such aren't really my type of people, but I have danced naked in the woods howling at the moon by myself, just not around a drum with others. It's more of a solitary thing. Okay, let's see here. I'm doing well, Jamie Delgado. How you doing, my friend? Busby says, Potts, can I use root stimulator and CalMag together to start at seeds? So when I start using root stimulator today, they call me there. Oh, thanks, sir. You can, but I wouldn't use it at the beginning. You got to let the plant naturally develop a little bit before you go do that, because nubile root systems on a new young plant, you're going to burn shit and fuck it up. So I'd hold off for a bit, and then you can do it. I've done a lot of weird things on Magic Mushroom. That's a story from probably another channel, to be honest with you. Of course, I left my darts inside. Kind of want to have one more dart before we go in, but I guess I could just have a smoke break in a few minutes. Yeah, let's do that then. Oh, right. Got some more Pro Mix HP here, ready to bring into the lab. We had to get some more buckets because I didn't have enough on hand to go old school in the way we started things. Going back to some origin stories, a few ways and techniques that we haven't done in a very long time. My God, I'm going to have to clean this homicide up after the show. Your mommy's not going to be impressed, dogs, I'll tell you that. She will not be impressed. All right. 1 second here, everybody. Let's go in here. Oh, and for those of you who may be new to the channel, there's been a lot of comments on the video I released yesterday. Like, that's not 2 weeks of veg. That's not 2 weeks of veg. Well, my first response to you is, watch all my fucking videos, you fucking numbnuts. Sorry, that's a little harsh. But, I mean, at the end of the day, people coming in and commenting on shit that they obviously have fuck all clue about what I've been talking about or what I've been doing, and then kind of having a holier-than-thou thing, Jesus F. Christ. Try watching the videos that have come before it in terms of a certain set of plants, and you might understand what's actually going on. So no, these plants have only been vegging for 2 weeks. No, that's not what the videos are saying. It's 2 weeks of veg since we pulled them out of the little veg room and actually started training them and doing anything with them. Putting them under more light, taking them seriously, feeding and stepping it up. So, for those of you who are newer to the channel, who may be some of the people that I'm actually referencing in terms of making these comments, please just watch the damn background videos, and then you'll have an understanding of what's going on. That's just a pet peeve of mine, when people kind of come in without checking any histories or backgrounds on any of the shit, and start running their mouth about crap. I do find it irritating to say the least. Oh, see, this is the sad thing. Since I'm on the data package now, my video quality has gone down. Let me see if I can quickly switch back, everybody, to using the Wi-Fi here. We'll see if I can get back on the Wi-Fi here. We seemingly are on the Wi-Fi now. I don't know if it's improved the video quality at all, but nope, still looks grainier than fuck. Whatever. At least the show is still going. Back into the chat there so we can see what everyone's saying. Pheno Hunter, can I stroke your beard? Yeah, I guess. Go for it. You're welcome to edit if you'd like. Okay, 1 second here, everybody. I'm just playing catch up real quick here now. One second here, everybody. Yeah, I guess raw power we could do that, sure. I'll do it with one of these 5 gallons after the end of this run. Dress up as the Monopoly Man? But didn't the Monopoly Man only have like a fucking like mustache though? He didn't have a beard, did he? He had a mustache in my memory. I haven't decided what I'm going to be dressing up for Halloween this year as yet, but you know, I've been the Joker for the last number of years, so I don't think I can do that again. I gotta come up with something new. We'll figure it out. No worries, Raw Power. Here, this is what I'll do. I will do 1 pink kush and 1 Hindu kush, and we'll give it its own area, because I probably have enough room in general where I could probably re-veg that properly to get it to a place. So, yeah. And you're not wrong, Raw Power. It would be a cool set of videos to do for everybody. So, yeah. Good idea. I'm happy to do that. I'll do that for you, Raw Power. Well, for everybody, but you requested it, so I'll do it for you, my friend. And also, too, this is something I'm very excited about. I want to talk about it for a second here. We've got the 4 Freak Show beans that we recently received from our friend Dale Rook. Big thank you again to you, good sir. And so we're going to be doing Freak Show, everybody. That's right. The weird mythical hairy beast, the Potsquatch, is going to play around with arguably the weirdest strain of colloquial times of the last decade, the strain Freak Show. And so far, as of last night when I checked the rootlets, 3 out of 4 had cracked. I haven't checked them yet today. I like them to usually have about 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters of a rootlet at least before I plant them. Actually, after the live stream today, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to be doing is planting those initial genetics. So I'll shoot a couple of things over the next couple of days, put that together in the video. That'll be the first video of the video log of growing Freak Show. But we're going to be growing Freak Show, everybody. And I hope it gets, you know, I hope it's the real Freak Show. I mean, Dale, sure it is, so I'm excited. And, you know, let's hope for some really fucking weird phenotypes. Before I put them in water to start soaking them, I talked to the seeds. I said, you know, they have my permission to be as weird as they fucking want. So let's hope something weird and strange happens. But we're going to be doing a whole video log run and showing of the Strain Freak Show on this channel. So I'm pretty excited about that. Not duck's food. There's a duck something I've heard about, but I haven't really played with it much. That's it, duck's foot. I've heard of that. One of our fellow Potsquatches was growing a duck foot clone, and it turned into this very large, weird plant. When she showed it to me, I was like, fuck. It's a big damn bush. Well, Max Wilder, I mean, I can't even remember off the top of my head the formal breeder that, did it. The few places I've seen it available online from seed houses is retardedly, excuse the use of the word. I'm gifted, learning disabled. Was labeled as a retard as a child in school until they realized I actually am not stupid, just different. But they're vastly overpriced in terms of the internet. Like, I mean, seeing them on the internet, I mean, they're like 150, 200 bucks for a couple of beans. But luckily for us, Dale Rook was kind enough to share with us and send us some of those freak show beans. And I won't lie to you, the grower in me, the excitement is very high right now. I feel like a big kid because I've wanted to check out the strain freak show for quite some time. I've really, really wanted to play with that. Another thing that I'm going to go over just to let you all know. Frankenplant's amazing. We've kept it alive. I've got 2 cut clones or mother plants of it. I've been doing my choke it out, kill it, bring it back to life tests on it to make sure that it's stable, doesn't harm, and then also I find that when you do that, it brings actually quite a bit of vigor back to the plant in the long run. Frankenplant's beautiful. We will be bringing Frankenplant and Gorilla Blue back for a couple of runs fairly soon. We kept the Gorilla Blue alive as well. The one phenotype of that we really like. But, yeah. So simply put, though, what was I going to talk about? Oh, right. There's an important thing I wanted to cover up. So, as we've all been aware, I mean, YouTube has been persecuting channels of this nature in a lot of different ways. They still continue to do so. The one thing we've really been running into a lot is people will turn on their notifications at the channel, and then YouTube turns it off. Ganjanana, your mama, she can attest to this. She actually went and checked, bye Stuart, her settings the other day. And Ganjanana, your mama, is a hardcore Potsquatch. Like, I mean, that crazy lady, it doesn't matter how late the show is, she's almost always there. Had no notifications turned on. And she knows it wasn't her turning them off. So, everyone, please make sure all your notifications are turned on for the channel. Maybe check them every couple of weeks right now, just because YouTube seems to be fucking with us. We don't show up in fucking things. The algorithm is trying to reduce our growth rates and people seeing us. Recently I've had a lot of people find the channel and be like, how the fuck have I not known about this channel? How have I never seen this shit? Like, I am a grower. I love weed YouTube. I'm on here every day. How have I never seen you? And I said, well, welcome to the algorithm being a dick fuck. But also, too, it seems that somehow, weirdly, YouTube is just quietly turning off our subscribers' notifications on their end. It's something I've been hearing reports of at least 200 times now from people who've been sending me emails. So just be aware that that's a thing, okay? If you don't care about that, then that's fine, too. But, I mean, if you'd like to stay on top of our content and stay on top of, what we're doing and when we do it, just keep an eye every week or two, maybe check those notifications and see if they're still turned on, because something weird's going on in terms of YouTube. There's a quiet, quote-unquote, persecution of the weed titty people happening, So just be aware of that. That's something that's been going on. Yeah. You want to see the cucumber, Adam Hansen? I'll show you the cucumber if you want. It's basically ready. I'm probably going to harvest it. If not today, maybe tomorrow, but... Everyone, that's the cucumber now. Look at that big, beautiful fucking cucumber. Check it out. Busby says, oh, my notifications are turned off too. See, everybody, it's a real thing. It's been going on. So just check your notifications if you care to check that out. And yes, Mikey Miller is bringing up the Facebook group. For those of you who are newer to the community, we do have a Facebook group. It is called the Potsquatch Growers Community on Facebook. It's a place for all people. Okay, so leave your ego at the door. Leave your own personal political hang-ups at the door and all this other crap. Because it's a place for all people, all races, all walks of life, all social graces, all superstitions, all orientations. It is a place where human fucking beings, we the Potsquatches, come together in the love of the weed titty. And it's a place for us all just to be together and hang out and come together. So the main number one rule of the group is don't be a dick fuck. Treat people with respect and compassion, including yourself, and you'll be good to go. Please answer the questions, though. They are a liability. If you don't answer the questions, we then have to find you on Facebook, send you a personal message of, we're not going to be able to accept your application at this time. Please go back, answer the questions, and then we're happy to have you in the group. It's a hell of a lot harder than us just going, ooh, you answer the questions. Welcome. Yes. But check that out on Facebook if you're on the Facebook. It's called the Potsquatch Growers Community on Facebook. And again, just to reiterate, a bunch of you even just said they found that. Go back, check your notifications every week or two. YouTube's trying to fuck with us. Fuck you, YouTube. We're going to keep it coming. Stop being a dick. We would make much better allies than enemies. And I'm part, technically, of your YouTube partner program. Why are you persecuting me still? The more people that view my shit, the more money you make. Why are you fucking with us? Just an idea, YouTube. Think about it. To my knowledge, no, Max Wilder. I don't believe they are a feminized freak show. I believe they are a non-femme because they came from someone who typically does not like femmes, like myself. Most breeders will hate feminized genetics. We're not into it. I love it, Ganja Wizard. If I was a plant, I would be a freak show. Well, don't worry, Raw Power. That's actually part of what the Potsquatch Growers community has kind of grown into. We, the Potsquatch Growers Army. It's not just about we. We're an affiliation of people around the world of like-minded nature. A lot of us have different political beliefs and other beliefs, but I mean, we found a way to coexist peacefully. And who knows? End of the world happens. Maybe the Potsquatch Growers Army will be the ones standing up to save all of it. But we're growing by the day. We're on 5 out of 6 continents around the world. We are now an international brand. We're an international community, an international organization of crazy mofos. We, the Potsquatch Growers Army. You were telling me that, Dale. I'm excited to see. I'd love to do a compare and contrast on those. See how similar they are or different they are. One second here, I'm reading everybody. So Nathan Burrow, one is kind of, it's a dual strip, and it's done in a strip. That's utilizing the 301B, which is an older chip. 301H and 301B are essentially, for the most part, the same thing. There are actually subtle differences in terms of when it comes down to the binning, right? So what does binning mean? Well, they test all of the light wavelengths that come off the chip, and then it goes into a certain bin based off of that, to my understanding on it. So the 301H is just basically the same fucking chip, but I mean, it is subtly different due to the binning that is done in terms of the wavelengths. I'm a big fan of the 301H. The 301H that we carry is the straight 3500 Kelvin color chip. I love that. That's my happy place. That's what I like to use. We also have the new version of the X3 strip, which is more of a dual thing, and I believe the averaging on that one Kelvin color would come out to about a 3700 or so, give or take on that. And those will come out in strips though, right? So it'll be a subtly different orientation, right? So with the new X4 board, the 301H, there's 2 boards in one of the fixtures, where the other one has strips. Those are the 2 main differences. One is an averaging of 3700 Kelvin, the other is a straight 35. I'm a big advocate for the 35 myself, but that's also just what I like to use, and I'm a creature of habit. Yeah, because 301B was, yeah, exactly, Mikey. 301B was made for offices and lighting offices. The 301H is the first ever chip that was released with horticulture in mind. That's right, everybody. That's what we've all been doing before the 301H. We've literally been using office equipment, lighting equipment chips to build grow lights. With the 301B, the 301H, very great efficacy chips. Both of them rock and do amazing things. It doesn't matter if you go with the 301B version of our setup dually or if you want to go with the 301H, you're going to be successful with both. Your plants will be happy both in veg and flower on both, and you're going to have a good time. What's up, Pilgo 420? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Mike, the Saber Ride Squatch. Yeah, so Dale, anyone in the future, they say like, oh, I didn't get my notifications, tell them to go back into the back-end settings and check the notifications. YouTube seems to be turning off our subscribers' notifications. Not sure why. It seems counterintuitive and counterproductive. You grant me the winning of our appeal, you allow us and others of our kind into the partnership program just to fuck us quietly behind the scenes? Doesn't sound like smart business planning to me. But, I mean, you know, whatever. But tell them to do that, Dale. If that ever happens to them, tell them to go check that out. Zach Baker, probably not, but I might. I'm still debating on it, Zach. We got another week, so I got some time to decide. Plus, I'm not going to flip a transplant. We're going to do another veg for a week or two before we flip on these anyway when we do the transplant, so I could still do it. I'm debating right now in my head of what I want to do. Well, raw power, you got to remember at the beginning, too, I was also really excited about it. We've established ourselves. We're selling now. We are holding our own against our competitors and stirring up the industry, you know. So we're doing okay. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just want people to be successful. You don't have to use our lighting tech. I think you'd be smart to. But at the end of the day, if you're happy and you're doing well, that's the most important thing to Uncle Potsquatch. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, our rigs have proven themselves. They're holding up just fine. We had our original legacy, then we stepped up our game hardcore. So at the end of the day, we're doing all right. And plus, I'm gearing up to save a few pennies to start doing some commercials and online marketing, actually, for once. So, you know, right now, the only source of people being aware of our lights right now is word of mouth and me being, here on the YouTube and talking about them. But that'll change soon. We're going to be shooting some commercials and doing all of that kind of crap. No, Jason Houlihan, it's not, because these are people who have specifically set to notifications all the time, and it's being turned off. I've received over 200 emails about it. There's no way that over 200 people are confused that they just clicked the wrong option. I'm sorry. Something weird's going on with YouTube, and I think they better get their act together and just get real and accept us into the fold, because why accept us into the partnership program if you're just going to be a dick to us? See you later, Ganja Wizard. Have a beautiful night, my friend. Uncle Bill says, what's up? I have one plant that's turning purple and one that is mostly still green. Same strain, both outdoors. Okay, Uncle Bill, what you're running into is simply a difference of phenotype, in my humble 2 cents. So within every genetic, even if you have 10 beads from the same even bud on a plant, okay, there's going to be different phenotypes within that genetic. They may all be the same strain. Doesn't mean they're going to behave the same. Think of like 5 brothers or sisters, right? One's tall, one's short, one's fat, one's skinny, one's got brown eyes, one's got blue eyes. They all kind of look the same, but they're different. One's good at math, one can play football really well, One has a gift at drama and being an actor or a musician, you know what I mean? So that's probably the easiest, simplest way for me to describe different phenotyping within the same basic genetics. So that's what you're experiencing there, though, right? So certain phenos are going to go purple where other ones won't. And that's part of why we pheno hunt. And we find the right phenos, the magical phenos of what we as growers desire, and then we keep them. And then we also utilize them in breeding programs if that's our choice to do so. I hope that helps, Uncle Bill. Sincerely, Uncle Potsquatch. I don't know if I did. When did you send it? Pilgor, send a new one. Send it right now. Nice, Mikey Miller. Also, beautiful sentiment. I like that. Oh, that's funny, Busby. Right, Zach Baker? I'm pretty excited to see the Frank show myself. You can ask Dale. When I got him, like when Dale told me he was sending me Freak Show, I freaked out. You're sending me Freak Show? Ah! Yeah, no, I freaked out. It was pretty good. Max Wilder says Nation Point. What does that mean? Or what do you mean by that? Dude, is my phone vibrating? Nope. What the hell am I hearing? It almost sounds like it's like a phone in my lab right now that's vibrating. But the only two phones that I have that are activated in any way are these two. And it's not these two. That was weird. It was really weird. Kind of trippy, actually. Huh. See you later, Jason Houlihan. Keep it real, my friend. Keep it sexy. Thank you for tuning into the show, my friend. I'll put it to you this way, Joshua, Rickard. My friend Dale here is a very aware person of seeds and genetics and existence. I'll leave it at that. You can both talk privately. It's not my business to do so. But let me put it to you this way. Dale is a good informational resource, to say the least, in terms of things. And I can attest to that. Thank you, Bill Gore. Awesome. I'll check my email after the show, buddy. Yeah, James Leach is actually on a video. So if you look up, what did I call it? Was it like making space cake or making magic brownies or something like that? I would have released it in the last 6 or 7 months, but I actually have a step-by-step video where I go over the basic recipe of the brownies that I typically make. I don't have it in my brain off the top of my head, but if you find the video, you'll be good to go for making those, my friend. Oh, it was vibrating? Okay, good. That was tripping me out, because like, when I checked it, it wasn't vibrating. And I was like, oh, I doubt it being CIA or NSA. I don't really think they care much about me. Welcome to the show, Country at Hot Fiddly. Have fun, Gazo76. Oh, raw power. I'm not saying it's just me that's getting hit. I'm saying everyone of our kind is having that. I don't pay attention to the rest of YouTube, nor do I care. But how you're going to help us fight back, everybody, is just regularly check your notification settings on our channel. Okay, good, Busby. Trip me out. It's definitely a saying, Jose, that has kind of come about in terms of the channel, hasn't it? It definitely has, hasn't it been? Yeah. My humble 2 cents, my 2 cents, my personal 2 cents. Yeah. Have a beautiful day at work, Reef Wilson. Keep it real, keep it sexy, and much love. Sure. I'll tell you some ghost stories. Now, which ones have I told you? Well, let's start running through a few things in my head. Let's see here. Which stories are good? Quite a few of them. Have I told everyone the ghost story about the apartment that I lived in London, Ontario with my first wife when I was briefly living back in Ontario for about 9 or 10 months before I went back to Europe. Have I told any of you that one? Oh, Jose Eltec. I actually have a lot of personal experiences. I have a shitload of stories that are all true as day. I even have a couple of UFO stories too. One of the things I actually am secretly working on is starting another YouTube. Who knows when I'll get around to actually doing it. But I actually want to start my own ghost hunting show. True fucking story. Because you know what, at the end of the day, I don't really trust a lot of the ghost hunters out there as much as I still watch the videos and I enjoy it. But you know, if Uncle Potsquatch fucking goes out and shoots something, I ain't gonna waste my fucking time fucking faking shit. Okay? If I catch something, you know it's fucking bona fide real. And you also know I'm a scientist, so I'm gonna do my gosh darndest to disprove it. Or debunk it. So that's one of the things I have a huge fascination with is, you know, the quote-unquote paranormal, the things around us that we cannot see, etc., etc., you know, and all of that. So I'd love to actually do that. That's one of the things I've been toying around with in my head of wanting to do. Definitely something in the long run I'd like to do for fun. Chance Morgan, it depends on the bean. Most beans should pop within, you know, 48 to 96 hours. Sometimes they can take a little bit longer, but the longer it takes, the less likely that it will pop. I'm not a big fan of germinating in Jiffy Pucks. I pre-germinate all beans and then plant my sprouts. That way you know you're not wasting your time. Uh, 35 of them have hermied on the week 2 flower. Not necessarily, but definitely get rid of those Hermes, obviously, and watch the other ones like a fucking hawk. I'd keep going on it, because that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to do that in there, but given that the fact that 35 out of 50 have already done so, that puts you at a rate well over 50% Hermes, so be very careful. But there still may be a couple of good ones in there. In my humble 2 cents, that's how I would approach it, skipping tax. No, don't worry, skipping tax, I followed. Yo, what's up, Tawny Rip? Bro, it's been forever. How have you been, yo? I haven't seen you on here in a fucking long time. You still making glass, buddy? Adam Hansen, a lot of cover crops are great in terms of keeping a happy, healthy soil. Cover crops are a quintessential component to keeping a happy no-till environment on a lot of different styles. So totally a good thing. I'm all right with cover crops basically in general. Yeah. High Tower Garden says, Josh, I run a I believe you mean Frigidaire. Or Frigidaire dehumidifier 70 pint, and it's great. My grow just needs more, so I got lucky on eBay and found another one for 160 US delivered. Dude, that's beautiful, High Tower Gardens. Fuck yeah, bud. Congratulations on that. Doug Days, don't take that one personally. You gotta remember, autoflower genetics are the most fragmented marketed thing in the market. Genetics now are not what they once were. I mean, everyone under the sun seems to think they're a breeder and can do shit, and just unstable, fragmented genetics are compounding for years now in the market. That's why every goddamn fucking thing, foxtails now. It's why Hermes are vastly more common now. I mean, it's why a lot of weird, floopy structuring to plants is happening now, because people don't do anything fucking properly, and they don't actually understand what they're doing. Not everyone's like that, but a majority of breeders out there are fucking stupid. They don't know what they're doing. And so a lot of people will be selling beans as autos when maybe 1 or 2 out of 20 beans will auto. Or they're selling photos that are actually autos, okay? So don't beat yourself up from having bad results necessarily with autoflower and cannabis. It is the most butchered and bastardized genetic set in the market today. So don't beat yourself up, bud. Hell yeah, Tiny Rip. Well, I'm glad you're still fucking having work in this weird, crazy time, but I definitely would encourage you to keep on working on your glass blowing and stuff, because the work of yours I've seen was really nice, and I'm a big believer that you could be someone in that regard, so I say go for it. Oh, it does. Like, people are like, ew, I meant this plant, fuck this plant, I'm a breeder, and I'm going to name it this name, and I am such a good breeder, and this shit's the fire shit. No, you dumb fuck. You took the literally step one in a very long race. It takes time to properly breed and stabilize genetics. What does stabilizing a genetic mean? It's eugenics. It wasn't just for the Nazis. It is selective inbreeding. Glenn, I'm in a show, bud. I hate when people don't take the time, who are also my cannabis community friends, and then interrupt my show. Glenn, you should know I'm in a show. I even talked to you this morning about it. I told you I do a show every day, or every Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm not actually mad at you, but come on, guys. People who don't know what I'm doing should fucking, you know what I mean? Like, people who don't, that's fine. But if you are a weed person in my world, you should know when I'm live. You don't have to watch the damn show, but just don't interrupt it. Hey, wait a minute. I turned on Do Not Disturb on my phone. Why the fuck is that happening? Fucking technology. Anyway. Well, Pilgor, you can breed autoflower with photos, but it takes a hell of a lot of time of selectively stabilizing the genetic. You know what I mean? Like, where do you think the first fucking autos came from? It was breeding ruderalis with photos. The dream was to localize and take that singular genetic of autoflowering nature, not requiring a photoperiod shift to trigger flower, but then combined it with the size, weight, production, and potency of traditional photos. Some of the original work ever done on autoflowers was done by a man named the Joint Doctor. Check out strains like Lowrider number 2. He was the first person to formally bring an autoflowering genetic to market. It was also the source of most autoflowering genetics that was used by anyone else to try to create autos. If you take an auto and fuck it with a traditional non-femmed photo, some beans will auto, some beans won't. How do we stabilize that? Well, we gotta grow a shitload of beans out every time we cross it. And then we're selecting just that perfect source to then re-fuck back. And in terms of keeping consistent autos, one must keep that progression of selective inbreeding ongoing. It's the only way to maintain your genetics autoflowering plus developing the genetic. But nobody does that. Everybody just thinks you can cross things to things, and then it's a thing. That's how it worked. Evolution wouldn't exist. Just saying. Anyway. As you can tell, it's one of those things, and it seems every show I have my own little midget rant, one or two of them, about breeding and proper breeding and all that jazz, but at least we're talking about it. 1 second here, everybody. I'm going to go for another dart, plus I need a glass of wine. Selective inbreeding, baby. Eugenics. It's a thing. One second, everybody. I need to grab another glass of wine. Oh, the murder scene. Yeah, you know what you did, puppies. You know what you did. Cheers, motherfuckers. Here, I'm gonna go plug in this other phone again, just because it didn't have tons of battery power going into the show. And then we'll switch to using this one here. Pop up for a dirty party. Hell yeah, Buzzbeat. Well, with the help of my close friend Dale, one of the things that we're planning on doing for our seed brand for the company is actually bringing back the original skunk. We're going to bring it back. Me and Dale are going to work together on this one. We're going to figure it out. Get her back to, well, because what I'd like to do in terms of bringing back the original skunk, I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to bring back the original skunk the way we all remember it, or try to. But I also want to do a run on it where I'm going to rework it and keep reading it in terms of what I would have done with it from its original standing point. That's kind of the goal on that one. Hey, Susie Sherlock, I've got a gorgeous dad bod, okay? I'm proud of my dad bod, Susie. Unless you like the dad bod look, well then, eat your heart out, baby. I'm also super hairy, so... Thanks for the laugh, Susie. I appreciate it. No, Jose, I've never been to Puerto Rico. I'd love to check it out, though. Yes, but see, here's my thing, Pilgor. We'll see whose is better. What's your genetic source? Because I know mine comes from the early 80s and late 70s. And that's just a little friendly competition between breeders, Pilgor. You know I love you. I don't buy genetics from fucking established breeders. I have my people in my world that we work together. Oh yeah, but I've got a bunch of cushions I'm bringing back, Pilgor, and I'm doing some new age cushions too, actually. Oh, I will, Raw Power, relax. It's just, this is a pod channel, so we got to scratch by pod. A couple of the crosses that I'm really excited to do was Ben sent me some great land race Afghani Indica pollen. And that was one of my things. No, Tiny Rip, I hate Letterkenny. I think it's a fucking stupid show. The reason why I hate Letterkenny is it's the same basic joke about Canadians that is kind of really boring, and it's an over-exaggerated caricature for an entire show. So no, I'm not really a fan of Letterkenny because as an actual Canadian homeboy kind of thing, right? Like, there's very few actual Canadians that are quite like those pricks, and if I met those pricks, I wouldn't talk to them. Like, that's not Canadian. There's a lot more to Canadians than what Letterkenny or Corner Gas will show you. I could tell you a funny story about Corner Gas and the executive producer and me fucking running my mouth about exactly what I thought about it and how that went down. That was a funny day in a bar. Hey, what's up, Newfoundland? I'm half Newf. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show, Silver Lining 0438. Yes, but see, the thing is, Mikey Miller, Trailer Park Boys didn't over-exaggerate the Canadianisms, and they still had a storyline and some other elements to it. Trailer Park Boys was at least kind of right in certain parts of it, especially for where it comes in Nova Scotia, right? Like, but, I mean, at the end of the day, like, things like Letterkenny, Corner Gas, I can't stand them. There's more to Canadians than that. It pisses me off that the only real comedic shows that have ever taken off are those. And it's like, there's so much more to Canada and Canadians and our comedic shit than that. Fuck, just watch the TV pilot of the fucking show I wrote. And we've already shot it. We're still finishing the edit because we're not great at color correction and trying to do all that shit. It's called Roomies for Life. Fucking amazing, brilliant show. In my humble 2 cents. I mean, I wrote it with Miss Potsquatch, and I think it's great. But there's a lot more to Canadian comedy than just that, right? So I think that's my big number one hang up with a lot of that shit, right? Back in the day, we just used to make like a roach space cake, Johnny Summertime. It's amazing if you put enough chocolate in anything, it makes it taste all right. Hey, thank you very much, Buzzbee. Dude, that sounds sexy, Pilgor 420J, by the way. Uh, my skunk genetics are coming from Dale's collection. Plus, I've got a couple of things in my collection as well. I have some old school landrace skunk type things to play with. And in terms of the cushions, though, that I'm bringing back, or not bringing back, creating. So I'm going to take that Afghani landrace into Capone from Ben, and I really want to knock up the pink kush with it, the Hindu kush. And those will be two kind of cushy things. You know what? I'm going to throw the Afghani Kush that didn't have a huge amount of taste or smell to it, but a lot of other great options into it. Who knows? Maybe you'll see what happens. I'd also like to cross it with the Gorilla Blue, see what happens there. But the things that I'm actually doing on purpose in terms of trying to stabilize it eventually to bring it to market would be that pink Kush Afghani cross, the Hindu Kush Afghani cross. Then I am going to do a feminized release of this pink kush. I have permission to at least do that. So where I'll make it fuck itself, basically. And then, but there's a bunch of other things in the works in that regard. And for me, something has to really truly taste and smell like a kush to be a kush. Even if genetically it's mostly kush, but it don't smell or taste like a kush, that's bad breeding. Just not right. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff with that, and I'm excited about it. But a big reason why I'm passionate about trying to bring back a really nice old school skunk, I've got a lot of older grower friends who are just absolutely obsessed with the strain. They love it. Like Mike Safer Ride Squatch. You bring up skunk number one. If you ever meet Mike Safer Ride Squatch, any of you, go say skunk number one to Mike and watch his eyes brighten up. Watch them light up like he's like a little kid on Christmas morning. It'd be an homage to some of my older grower friends to try to bring some of that shit back in an affordable, stable, reliable thing that is also a trip down memory lane for all of them, right? Oh, and Busby, in terms of the new intro, that's a big shout out to my Welsh brother, Stefan Robiston, living over in Wales. Very close, actually, to the town where my family, the Welsh part of my family, hails from, the Commons. It's called Cosmeston. But he actually was the one who put together the new intro and outro for us. He's working on a version of it for the cooking show that we'll use, and just doing it from the goodness of his heart. And I just want to say a big shout out to Stefan. And thank you for all your help. You are vastly more gifted in the ways of the internet and doing those types of things than I am. And you have no idea how much I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate all that help. And ready to rock and roll, bud. Chocolate skunk sounds interesting. What are the terpene profiles on that like, Pilgor? Yo, Lutz Chowie, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, Lutz. I'm glad your shirt finally got through. That was a fucking heartbreaking thing. Took months to get there the first time, was in the wrong name, you couldn't get it, sent it back, took months again, but you finally got it, I believe, right, Lutz? I'm very happy that it finally showed up. One second here, everybody. I'm just playing catch up or playing catch up there. Pink lemonade is a very cool strain. You know, I can't remember. Is pink lemonade what they also call pink Cadillac, or those two subtle variations of the same work? I can't remember. Dude, Susie, that's absolutely amazing, and it makes me so happy to hear you say that, yo. Cannabis is a wonderful thing. It does increase the metabolic rate. So if you're not eating too much or overeating, that increased metabolic rate can help you fucking reduce weight, but it can also reduce pain and joint pain and nerve pain and a lot of different symptomologies that'll help you to be a bit more active. So, but Susie, congratulations on doing well after your surgery and also just doing well in general. Fucking super happy for you. That's absolutely amazing. And fuck yeah, sister. Rock and roll and power to you, my friend. One second here. Oh, dude, Wedding Crashers. I've met a few really crazy phenos from Wedding Crashers, and I like it. Actually, yeah. No, I feel you, the T-Tot Grow. I actually got some classic BC Big Bud from fucking Dale, funnily enough. And I'm excited to rock and roll that one. Raw power, I don't really know. I don't really pay attention to things like that. I just kind of smoke whatever I want. I eat a bunch of weed all day too. I use a lot of tinctures, and I don't really keep tabs on how much I actually consume anymore. When I was a kid, I was like proud of it. I was like, oh yeah, I smoked this much weed today, or I did this, or I did that, and yeah. It's hard to say. Silver lining 0438. It could have been too early. It could have been a number of things, but you got to remember though, buds always shrink when you cut them. And they also, if they weren't very dense and it was more of a satty thing, so it's a little fluffier. I mean, that's totally normal to have a huge shrink up happen. Shrinking happens. As a person who has a penis, I find that funny to say. Cheers, everybody. I find the opposite of that, raw power. I actually find that indicas are the ones that give me munchies. But I think it's different than everyone. Every strain reacts differently in everyone's biochemistry, right? So there isn't one set rule book of this strain does that, that strain does that. I hate when people talk about cannabis in these terms because that's not how it works. In terms of the cannabinoid endocrine system and the general biochemistry of us all, it's all a little subtly different between all of us, right? So different things will function differently for other people, different strokes for different folks, as it were. But I mean, so at the end of the day, there are things that are more likely in terms of like for more people have experienced one strain doing one thing or than another, but that doesn't mean that's what it's going to do for you. Some friends of mine, if they smoke indica, get severe anxiety attacks. If I smoke super satty things, I get severe anxiety attacks, right? So, and the funny thing is we're both even the same background. We're both kind of like Irish, Scottish, Welsh, fucking mudbloods, but yet we have completely different responses to different types of cannabis, right? So, and that is just a big, big fucking shout out and advocacy to the fact of different strokes for different folks. Different strains will have different reactions in terms of the cannabinoid endocrine system of the people. You know what I'm saying? So raw power, basically, I guess what I'm saying is playing around and experimenting is the best way to find what works for you. And yeah, Jay West, right now I've got that pink kush and that Hindu kush growing, my friend. I like Trailer Park Boys, Adam. Adam, I grew up with Trailer Park Boys, so I like Trailer Park Boys. I actually have an idea for the new cartoon that I'd love to do with them. That'll be like Trailer Park Boys meets Potsquatch episode. I actually tried to send a message to Mike Smith, funnily enough, but no response yet. Darn, I'm not. I really thought he'd get back to me. I love Master Kush Ultra. I prefer the original Master Kush, but MKU is also quite good, Chance Morgan. Fuck, how far behind am I? God damn it. Everyone, if I'm missing your messages, I apologize. There we go. If I stay totally scrolled up, it should auto do its thing, hopefully. Yes, so Tiny Rip terpenes not only are scent, okay, but they also can be psychoactive, have a lot of medicinal properties, okay. There's also flavonoids. That's more so where the flavor comes from. Now, obviously, a terpene works in congruency with a flavonoid to create taste via how, big part of our taste comes from smell, okay. So they do kind of work hand in hand, but there are terpenes, flavonoids, as well as different cannabinoids. Hey, thank you very much, Wonky Donkey. Much love, my friend. MH23 Dew Simple Seed. I wouldn't say that the old school hash plants are the most frosty, but I definitely will say they have a piece of legendary in terms of cannabis. It's one of my favorite smells and tastes. The old school original hash plant, we've grown it once in the channel. Sadly, I didn't keep the genetic. Long story behind that. And that's another one I'm working on trying to find. The original hash plant. I want it back. I have a fucking major hard on for hash plant. Love hash plant. But it's not as easily found as one would like. Oh, everyone, the Carter Kush cross that Dale's talking about, I've seen the plant. Looks really fucking healthy. Super sexy. Okay, so Susie Sherlock, you can, but it's government weed is absolute garbage, Susie. Um, you know, all government pot that I've ever met, okay, and in general, typically, is absolute garbage. They're not growing it properly. They are spraying it full of chemicals. They are many big companies are actually blasting their premium flower with gas to make dabs, drying it out, then irradiating it under decree via Healthcare Canada, saying they have to irradiate the pot, and then it's about a year old by the time you get it. So not only is it garbage, it's essentially poison. So yes, in theory, you can buy pot all over Canada now. Don't support your local dope farmer. They're the only ones worth buying from. We are the people who voted this in and then got fucked out of our own industry. We are the people who fought for everyone's rights and access, and then we literally got forced out. It's not legal for the people in Canada. It's more legal now under legalization than it was before. Okay. It is actually a Prohibition 2.0. It's legal for the government and the rich. That's it. But yeah, medical growers, like I'm a medical grower. I'm a personal medical grower. That's what I am. Okay. And that's what most growers have become in this day and age. It's a way to try to keep ourselves safe. Yeah, and that's very common, Silverling 0438. So in terms of wet weight versus dry weight, okay, 25% of your wet weight is going to be almost bang on, regardless of strain, regardless of grow, of what your final dry weight is going to be. It's kind of funny how that one works. Yeah, no, well, that's the thing, right? Like the government's peddling such poison to people right now, and it's just astonishingly shit. Like, it's just, like, I actually have a video where I went and tried to find a legal pot store. I tried to buy hash plant, or what they called it, and it was, what are they, Lola Montez is what they said it was called now. I actually have a thing, because I wasn't, like, I was shooting it, but I wasn't shooting around the store because they would have known. So I was holding my phone recording. I was like, oh, and I was playing down. I was like, so hash plants Lola Montez now? Oh, you can hear it in my voice, and I'm totally mocking this kid, but not personally against him, more just against the industry, really. But you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, it's horrible. It's sad what's happening in Canada, right? Like the world thinks we've got this amazing legalization going on, but that's really not the case, sadly. And, what are you going to do? Were you talking to me, Pilgor? I don't understand. What's the reference? I'm aware you grow, Pilgor. I've grown your genetics. I'm confused, Pilgor. I don't understand. Well, and that's the thing, Pilgor. You can't get pushed out, and we will survive. And that's the funny thing about the government. The government keeps talking about the true growers, right? Like they're these criminals, which isn't actually the fact here. Uh, so let's our double squatch will blow a 600 watt HPS out of the water. Our double squatch is designed to be a 1000 watt HPS replacement. If you order the double squatch, you will be easily able to replicate and outperform the 600 watt HPS you're currently using, my friend. And we do world wiring, so just obviously, we know where it's shipping to, so we're not completely stupid. But we are people who smoke a lot of pot. So remember, when you order your light, if you're in a foreign country, just put in the notes section or put a little note on there just to say, hey, just to reaffirm, like I am in France, or I am in England, or I am in Wales, or I am here, just so we are able to wire the appropriate plug for you onto your light. But we do global plugs. Like it's not just like, well, unless you're like a 110 volt play guy, girl, see there, that's all you got. No, everybody gets to play. We're here for everybody's success, not just people who live where we said. Oh. I get it now, Pilgor. I follow now. Again, I smoke pot. Yeah, but what I was also referencing, Pilgor, is so in Canada, the current program is called the ACMPR. So you can, as a medical patient, you can either grow your own, or you can have a designated grower to grow for you. I obviously grow for myself. I didn't need someone to grow for me. And but so what I have is a personal medical license. In terms of how licensing works to postal code, in theory, I could grow for one other person on my property. So there could be like a medical patient who needs someone to grow for them, obviously, and then we would work out our own personal thing about how payment works and covering of costs works. Um, and then I would be legally allowed to not only grow but sell you cannabis as that medical patient. But I believe under the current laws, I'm only allowed 2 licenses to the property. Obviously, one's already my own, so like I could, in theory, produce for one other patient, basically. Where are you, the PPB? Are you in Canada? No, I know you are, Pilgor. At first, I just got confused. I was like, oh no, did I say something I didn't mean to offend? Normally, when I offend people, I do it on purpose. Well, actually, that's a lie. A lot of people get offended at my thoughts on things, but that's okay. To quote the great Eminem, God sent me on a mission to piss the world off. Good times. Mm. Manitoba. Well, congratulations, my friend. Um, it's a great feeling when you get that first real license, and I am very happy for you. And if you don't mind me asking, how big is your license? Did you get the 5 gram a day prescription, which would lead to, I believe, if I remember correctly, 25 plants? I don't hear those very often. One second, everybody. I'm just curious about the type of helicopter. That is a very big engine. Can't quite see it. One second, everybody. I'm just curious to see what helicopter that is. One second, everybody. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get a glimpse of this helicopter. Ah, it's fucking behind the trees. The funny thing is the reason why is because that sounds very, very similar to the police helicopters out here. The police helicopters out here are louder than fuck. It's the stupidest purchase the fucking police ever made. They bought the loudest possible helicopters ever. And so like, what should we use for a police helicopter? Let's use something that they hear from 20 kilometers away. Yes, that's smart. But at the end of the day, Glenn, I'm in a show, bud. Stop, Glenn. I'm in a show, buddy. I'll call you. Does anyone have Glenn Wells on Facebook, or someone? One of you has to. Someone send Glenn a message, please. Mike, you might have Glenn. You have Glenn. Could you please quickly message Glenn to tell him I'm still on the show, and I'll call him the second I'm out of the show, please? I'll call you soon, Glenn. Hey, but yeah, that's the funny thing about, like, you know, the police helicopters out here are extremely loud. That one was so loud, though, that it almost didn't sound like a police helicopter. It almost sounded a little bit too big. It actually sounded like one of the more emergency type helicopters that we do have. But regardless, I don't normally hear that sound out here. So that's why I kind of was like, that's not normal. It's also like anytime I have someone drive into my property area that I don't know. Thank you, Mike. I'll call him the second I'm done the show. And you know, whether, you know, I'm like, that's a new sound. That's not an engine that comes around here normally. Sounded like a Trump copter. I'll keep my, as I've said for the group, I'll keep my personal opinions to myself on that one, and I'll just giggle. Good times. Probably not. Glenn doesn't grow. He has a grower that grows for him. Uh, Tarzan, Superman. I like turtles. The chocolate or the animal? I like both. Turtles are cool. Tortoises are even more cool. And I also really like turtles' chocolates. Turtle, turtle, turtle. But it's been a good show. It's been a really good show, everybody. I've been enjoying this show today, and it's been a good time. You know, is everyone else having fun? We're having fun in the live stream show today. We enjoying ourselves there, having a good time. I hope so. I'm having fun. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, just know also too. So let's take a moment to talk about kind of the regular schedule. Those of you who are new to the channel, so like we said or have said, on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. we do the live stream show. On Sundays we do a 3 p.m. live stream show. Oh, I know you do. Pilgore 420, your plants are fucking huge. Some of them this fucking run, bud. I saw some of your pictures on the Instagram there. Some big jungle bitches. I saw the ones that were like growing through the roof on that one. And then you made a post something like, anyone want to come help me readjust the lights or something? It was quite humorous. I enjoyed it. Hey man, no worries, Bill Gore. Happy to have you here, and may the force be with you. Because fuck, man, you got a lot of weed titties to go harvest, buddy. So I hope you got some helpers that are giving you a hand on that one, buddy. But good job. Keep on doing what you do, developing sexy genetics, helping people, and giving back to the veteran community and giving back to people in the community. So a lot of respect, Bill Gore. Keep it real, keep it sexy, baby. Oh yeah, Art of War on two wheels. That's right. Oh, also Art of War. I did see your comment about the experiment and this or that, blah blah blah. I haven't responded to it yet, but I will respond eventually to it. Well, I typically do most of my trimming myself now. We're getting close, Art of War on two wheels, but last little bit. But just because I got lots of crap I got to go do. But I mean, I'm still here for a little bit. I haven't run away yet, so you're okay. But yeah, so coming content. So we have those two regular weekly shows, obviously. So let's go over that. One on Saturdays, we do our best to release a cooking episode. There was a 2 week gap. We just released one last Saturday, which is the meatball sub. It was very nice. Um, this Saturday, I will warn everyone, we will not be releasing a cooking episode because I'm actually throwing a birthday party for Mrs. Potsquatch this year, this Saturday. It's actually 2 days before her birthday. But hey, on September 28th is her actual birthday. Okay, so for those of you who follow her on YouTube, or her YouTube where she does the ukulele music and all that, wish her a birthday on September 28th. It'll trip her out that anyone even fucking knew. But this Saturday on the 26th, I'm throwing a very special birthday party for Mrs. Potsquatch. Last year she turned 30. She wanted a dirty 30s party, which basically to her meant going to the titty bar and see the titties. Well, at the time we couldn't afford to go do that, so we didn't get a chance to go do that for her birthday. However, this year, turning 31, I mean, obviously strip clubs and COVID, blah, 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 they're not open. So I'm turning my house into a den of debauchery for one night. I've ordered 3 strippers. I ordered a black stripper, an Asian stripper, and a white stripper. 3 very nice young women. And, shout out to Caden Crooks, who helped me get the connection to the ladies. And it's going to be a good time. And it's going to be basically Mrs. Potsquatch, her girlfriends, the 3 strippers, and me. It's going to be a good Saturday. But so we won't be releasing the cooking episode this Saturday because of that. I'm going to be a little busy first going to pick up her fancy cake that I got made for her at a nice bakery over in Abbotsford. And then I got to go pick up the party sub and do some other cooking and stuff and all that jazz. And then I'm going to be having her and her girlfriends over with a bunch of strippers. So I'll see everyone on the Sunday night or the Sunday live stream show at 3 p.m. next Sunday. There will be no cooking episode this week. No cooking episode this week. I'm going to be a little busy. Sadly, Mikey, it's a girls only party. I mean, I just lucked out that I'm the host of the party and organizing it and paying for it, so I'm allowed to be there. I'm also the bartender too, so. Sadly, YouTube probably would not let me live stream that party, even if Mrs. Potsquatch were to say yes, and the strippers said okay. I got a feeling that we would just we would cause more issues. We could do more issues by live streaming that than good on YouTube. So, um, let's shall we? What can you do for Miss Potsquatch? Okay, so on September 28th, let's go to her YouTube on any video and wish her a happy birthday. Wish her a happy birthday. Ooh, this would be funny. So on the 28th of September, go to her YouTube. It's called Dottie Davis on YouTube, and wish her happy birthday. And if you want to be extra funny, this Saturday, September 26th, comment on her channel and make a post saying Happy Stripper Day. That would be hilarious as well. It's called Dottie Davis on YouTube. I don't really have a link to it, but it's called Dottie Davis on YouTube. And if you see Mrs. Potsquatch playing a bunch of ukulele music and doing Eminem covers and all that kind of jazz, you're in the right place. She's vastly better at editing too. So if you see like a real video, it seems, you're in the right place. Plus, realistically, unless she's shooting it in her editing suite, you should recognize most of the house parts from my shows. So, Dottie. So Dotty space Davis. So that is Dotty space Davis. Predominantly, she does like a lot of parody songs, Eminem covers. Fucks around with her ukulele. She's working back in film now. She's pretty busy a lot of the time, so she's not releasing content quite as often as she'd like. But there's still a lot of decent stuff there to do or check out. And but also too, at the same time, on the 28th, wish her a happy birthday. She'll be surprised. And on the 26th, if you want to be extra funny, show up on her YouTube and say Happy Stripper Day. Smiley face, winky face. Just say like that. It'll trip her out that people are fucking knowing about the stripper party. That like, it will be wonderful. And which reminds me, actually, the head stripper actually texted me during this show asking for our address. We've already confirmed the show; everything's happening, but she still needs to know the final address to show up to with the ladies on Saturday. So I'll message her back. So Glenn, I'll call you first. And then I'll message the strippers and then I'll call Glenn. Oh, and in terms of regular content, on Tuesdays now is when we're doing the veg update. So there'll be one more veg update on a Tuesday, which will be next week on those plants. Then there'll be a transplanting episode and talking about that. And then we'll figure out, the day that we do that. So, the new update video might be on like a Wednesday or Thursday, unless I'm able to get all the transplanting done on the Tuesday. We'll see how much energy I have at the time. But, so that's currently on Tuesdays. So we've got Wednesday, Tuesday, Sunday. Saturdays are normally the cooking show. We won't be having that this week though. And then, well, thank you, Country at Heart Finley, by the way. And then also too, it'll be like the regular updates, and I am going to be wanting to do kind of a how-to video, 2 of them a month is kind of what I'm thinking. Another thing we should go over is YouTube keeps sending me this thing about, do memberships. It's another way for you to be able to make a few bucks. And let's be honest, I mean, right now we're scrambling trying to find the way to No Thunder Down Under. Well, I mean, if you mean it naughty in a naughty way on Saturday, Susie, there'll definitely be some boom boom there. We're a very liberal dom couple, so fun is allowed to be had. But I'm distracting myself with 30 things. What was I saying? Damn it, Susie, you distracted me. What am I talking about? What was I talking about? Somebody spark my brain. No, female strippers, Susie. Mrs. Potsquatch wanted ladies. We both like the ladies, so. Well, fuck that. I do the cooking, Mikey. Oh, but you mean for the cooking episode? Nah, it's Mrs. Potsquatch's day, so I'm just kind of dedicating the whole day to her and getting the party going. And I'm gonna be the bartender and make a bunch of specialty cocktails and all that jazz. But there's something else I was gonna fucking say. What the fuck was I gonna say? Fuck. There's the new freak show videos that we're gonna do. We already covered that. It's all your fault, Susie. You distracted me with thinking about Saturday, and now I can't remember what I was actually going to say. God damn it. Yeah, it's gone. But, oh, thank you, Stephanie, for you. Thank you. So, YouTube keeps doing that. Membership, basically, seemingly how it works is if anyone wants to do that, it's kind of, I guess, a way for you to make like a kind of monthly contribution. And so a lot of YouTubes do where like members get member only content. I'm against that. All my content should be available to anyone, whether you have money or not. So we're not going to be doing that. So if I turn it on at bare minimum, it's a way to help us keep the lights on and keep the content coming. So that's allowed in that regard. I am toying around with a few ideas of what it allows me to do. Whether that's, I don't know. I'm figuring it out. So I might even turn it on before I figured it out. And then you could at least do it like that way. And I'm still thinking about what perks are fair to offer to people who can afford a membership. But at the same time, I never want to exclude anyone who can't, right? Like, I mean, all knowledge, all learning is free on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so at bare minimum, it's at least a way we could do that, and it'll help us to kind of quote-unquote keep the lights on and keep content coming. I will think of something special, what you get for membership, whether it's just, I don't know, like, members get, see, but that even feels exclusionary. It can be like, well, members get then guaranteed video conferencing at least once a month with me. But then, like, I still call people who aren't members too. Like, I don't want to exclude anyone, right? Like, you shouldn't have to have money to be a Potsquatch or be part of this channel. But at the same time, I do have bills, and at the same time, I mean, so I don't know. It's one of the things we're toying around with. Another big thing is we are slowly but surely trying to get things set up so we can do the online grow store. I do have a Patreon. I have not finished setting up the Patreon, so I kind of need to probably do that. Members only shirt. That could be cool, actually. Yeah. No, good idea, right? So actually, if any of you have ideas of something that's like a good idea, but it's fair, help me out here. I mean, that's one of the things I've always struggled with. For those of you who've tuned into the channel for quite some time now know that I've always felt funny about asking anyone to like or subscribe. I've always felt funny doing something where people can make financial donations. I feel weird about that. I mean, that's part of why we started the swag, and we're trying to do the store. We started the company doing like actual goods where, we could do that, right? But what I will do, this is what I'm going to do. I will sit down tonight and try to read a bit more about what my options are in terms of a membership function. So in terms of the membership function, at least at first how it'll be run is, and again, I feel so fucking weird saying this, but some of you have expressed that you'd like to be able to have a way to contribute fiscally somehow to the channel, to what we do, and just to show appreciation. It has been pointed out to me by my wife and a number of other people that I'm actually being a rude fucking asshole by not allowing people to do that if they choose. So, we'll open it up, I guess, to those who choose that they'd like to do that. Is that Potsquatch condoms or Potsquatch size condoms? Two very different things, Mike. Just joking. See, and I'm not being a cocky shithead, because that could either go big or small. we'll leave you all wondering about that one. But so yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out the way to do it in a way that I feel comfortable. One thing I will say is I will get the Patreon set up though, at least, so for those who want to do it can do it, and it's out of my hands. And then I always feel weird and bad when people make donations and shit, but not bad. Well, guilty maybe. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? But well, I gotta get over my own personal hang-ups about certain things. I'll figure out a way for it to function though. So we are going to be opening up membership though. One of the settings was like people who have membership, their comments or during live stream shows are above others. I don't like that, but I am okay with like people who are members to have like a special insignia maybe next to them. And I think that's an option I could do. Yeah, no, you see, you're not wrong, Stephanie. No, I agree. You're not wrong. I just feel weird about it. And I have for over 3 years since we started this channel. That's for my personal shit to get over. Because, like, I mean, it's helping people and helping all of you to be successful and grow your own is so much a passion piece for me. But at the end of the day, it's kind of gotten to a thing where running the company and doing all of this is actually all I do now. I don't work a day job anymore. And, you know, so it's not a bad thing per se to acknowledge that by allowing, like you said, Stephanie, people to, I guess, appreciate things if they choose to do. So I guess I'm just basically trying to figure out how I'm going to do it in terms of what the ways that don't irritate me or I don't react to. But at the same time, allowing that to happen. I'm not opposed to people being members and then having a special insignia, but I don't want to make it like members kind of trump new people coming in and stuff. Like I want everyone to feel valued and appreciated and feel like they have a place here, whether they have money or not, because like I don't do this necessarily to make money. I mean, obviously making money is not a bad thing because, you know, being Potsquatch takes a lot of my time now. Well, most of it. But, and you know, paying my mortgage at least makes the bank happy, right? So. Sorry. Anyway, that's enough talking about that stupid bullshit. But I think you all understand what I'm meaning or what I'm talking about. So, new things coming and all that jazz. And there we go. Well, exactly. Like, wait, what? Stephanie, you said something I'm feeling like a first part to that. I didn't see it. One second. No, I feel you, Stephanie. No, exactly, Stephanie. It's just about finding, like, I did actually originally start a PayPal for people to make donations to. Then PayPal seized our accounts and told us to go fuck ourselves because we're weed related. Happened twice, lost over $1,000, which is maybe not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money in my world. So, but at the end of the day, I'll figure some stuff out because you are very right, Stephanie, and those of you over the last number of years who've said, like, we should be able to donate or do something if we choose to. That's not your business to say, it's our business to say, and we should be allowed to appreciate you and stuff. And I just feel weird. I still feel weird. I feel even weird saying that, but whatever. I will get over it. At least there's drinking. Self-medicating, right? So no, exactly, Stephanie. I just feel weird. I don't want people to feel obligated that they have to do this or they have to make a donation or pay a monthly membership fee. I don't want to create elitism or segregation in our community. I don't want to, you know, I mean, but that's also, I guess, my own personal hang-ups. Just weird, I guess. I'm still coming to terms with being Potsquatch and the company and everything that we're doing now as actually being a thing, I guess. Because when I first started the channel over 3 years ago, I didn't think it would turn into any of this shit. I didn't think people would give a fuck. I didn't think anyone would tune in. I didn't think we'd start a lighting brand. I didn't think that we would create a global community and movement and international organization. I didn't think we'd do any of the things we've done. So in certain ways, I guess I'm still kind of the weird, simple asshole, just growing pot, getting mad at the internet, trying to help people and wanting people to be successful. And, you know, as much as I would love to just do that, and that's my only reward, and that makes me happy at the end of the day, um, you know, it's hard because, well, there's bills and there's life and there's this and there's that. I'm like, look, fuck, my power bill alone is considerable. But so I'll figure out a way to do all that, everybody. We'll figure out a way forward on that one. And it's one of the things I've been wrestling with. Mike has been giving me a hard time about it. Not a hard time, but like challenging me on that front for, I don't know, a number of months now. Even from before we were monetized, he was like, dude, just do it. It's not a bad thing. Don't feel like a dick. Just do it. I was like, oh, fuck, oh, man. Fuck. Like, it's hard. It's hard for me to do. But what are you going to do? No, I feel you, Mikey. I feel you. I know, Stephanie, you're not wrong. Okay, you're not wrong, Stephanie. It's just hard for me to do. I struggle with it. But I'll get over that, everybody. I'll figure something out. So, one, I'll finish the Patreon if that's your preferred thing. I'll activate memberships on the channel. I don't know what that is. I mean, fuck, man. See, I even feel weird about that because then I got to say what a membership fee costs, and I don't want to put a price on that. I don't want to put a price on any of this. But anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll get over it. Mikey, I'm just being honest about how I honestly feel, though. And it's just, I was raised the son of two priests. That's something that many of you may not know. Uncle Potsquatch is actually the son of two priests. Both my mom and dad are Anglican priests. And I grew up in the church. I don't identify with Christianity. I don't believe in Greco-Christian religion. There's no way that an ape-like species in a minor fucking galaxy and an even more minor solar system on the third rock from a basic sun figured out creation and God. Can't buy into that. But the Force makes a lot more sense to me from Star Wars than actual religion does. But anyway, regardless of that, I was raised in certain ways, and I don't know. It's just maybe that's one of my hangups. For me, donating my time and sanity at times, because there's a lot of you sometimes, but it feels good. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy watching people be successful. I think about how hard it was for me growing in secret as a child and teaching myself just from reading and trial and error and making a fuck ton of mistakes trying to move forward and how hard that was. And then I think about how when I grew up, when I was younger, I was living in the information generation. And now the way the internet is, it's like the misinformation generation. And it's like so much harder for anyone to fucking learn, regardless of age of what you want to do. And in terms of cannabis, and it's like, I don't claim to be the end all be all font of knowledge, but I'll go toe to toe with anybody and hold my own. And I'm happy to share what I've learned and what I've done. Because I won't lie to you, like one of my favorite things when people send me emails about their grows and they send me pictures and they show me like a picture of the finished product and they're so happy, man, like hearing how excited they are. And like, especially like a lot of people are medical patients, medicine's so expensive, and to be able to produce low cost, safe, clean medicine that they know where it came from and they do their own bloody fucking thing, and fuck, man, it makes me feel happy. Doesn't pay my mortgage, but it makes me feel good. Bank can fuck off as far as I'm concerned, but I probably shouldn't say that too loud. I need them to renew it, so. Yeah, okay, Stephanie, I can accept that. I won't lie to you, when people say nice things to me too, it's very strange. I don't know how to handle it either. Not great at compliments. I mean, it's very touching, and I very much appreciate people's kind words and compliments on things. But like, I don't know, man. It's one way to make this old retired gangster how to blush. You just say something like that. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Hell yeah, country and heart friendly. No, I feel you, Stephanie, but also put it to you this way, like it's you know, I've been keeping afloat. I'm paying the bills. I'm keeping afloat. But yeah, no, you're not wrong, Stephanie. You win. I concede, Stephanie. You win. You win. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm coming to terms with it. We'll figure something out. Or maybe like, well, what do I even charge for a monthly fucking fee? Am I Netflix? Or am I like what do I do? I don't even know. Like, fuck, man. Like, okay, let's say I get over shit. I'm like, okay, cool, I can do it. I don't even fucking know what to charge for that shit. I mean, if I had my way, I'd pay you. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. But yeah. Something tells me you're probably usually right, Stephanie. That's probably true. 2.99. Oh, okay. Because I've never actually clicked the link of looking into how memberships on YouTube work. They send me emails like every 3 days about it, and then I don't look into it. I think about it and I go, oh, yeah, eventually. I'll look into that eventually. I know that everyone else does it too, by the way, but everyone else does a lot of things. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Overcharging for grow lights is one. Not just because everyone else is fucking ripping people off doesn't mean I'm gonna. And no, Stephanie, I'm not saying I'm ripping people off, but you know what I mean. Can I leave it open ended? Do they let me leave it open ended? Like there's a bare minimum pay rate, and then people can choose what they do. I don't know. I should probably look at it. I should probably open it up and take a look at actually what the rules or options of it are. But I'm paying, Mikey. Or I mean, talking, and you don't need to pay me. Oh, well, I guess the argument here is some people want to. Though. That's. I heard. Okay, I just. I feel weird. Let's just move on. Fuck this shit. I mean, I'm not fuck this shit. I'm not abandoning everyone's arguments here. I agree. I've conceded. I'll figure it out. I've also said I'd fix the website for fucking 2 months. But at the end of the day, too, if there was actually enough revenue coming in from even just membership fees, I could even hire someone to give me a little bit of help in terms of online management and doing stuff and make some commercials, get us out there. I mean, it's going to cost me about $50K to get the online garden supply store running for everybody and all that kind of stuff. So, you're not wrong. I just need to get over certain things, everybody. Well, exactly. But at the same time, like donations are never required. Like I don't want anyone ever to feel like I don't want to be like one of those like cell phone games, pay to play. Like fuck that. Like I'm happy to help anyone. Um, you know, uh, and that's something that's really important to me. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah. And but see, High Tower Gardens, the lighting brand will never, unless we take over the entire market, I'm never going to make huge money from that. Um, we are a co-branded product. We are the front of it, but we don't even make a majority of that. We only make a certain percentage of that, right? So really, for us to be able to do what we want to do and give back, is I actually do have to find a way for us to start making money. I have to get over people making donations, I have to get over a lot of stuff. Because, you know, my end dream is I want to make knowledge free, but I want to make grow tech, reliable grow tech, and everything accessible to everyone. It is my dream that anyone in the world who chooses to grow their own gets to. Shouldn't matter who you are, where you're from, you know, and that's kind of my end goal. And to be fair, I'll be in a better position to do a lot of good things for the community if we're doing okay and having, you know, money coming in, because then we can use it to grow other things and do other cool projects and stuff. So I guess I just gotta get over the fucking hang-ups on shit, I guess. Well, this has definitely been one of the longer shows we've done in a while. Do you know, Hightower Garden says, do you know how hard it is to live in Canada if you're in the States? I don't understand what that means, Hightower Gardens. Well, thank you, Mikey. I do have a few fucking neurons left that communicate occasionally. And I feel you, Stephanie. And Stephanie, at the end of the day, I will say, I need more wine. And two, I do appreciate, Stephanie, your all your kind words and encouragements and saying, like, motherfucker, just get over it. It's not a bad thing. Chill the fuck out. It's not like you're being some dick or somehow by you doing this, you're becoming some evil asshole. Shush, puppies. We can chill out soon, I promise. And so you're not wrong, Stephanie, in that regard. So I appreciate your kind words and that. Puppies, I'll be done the show soon. Relax. Now, for the first time in 3 hours, even though I've been drinking wine, it's a live stream during the live stream. For those of you who don't know what that is, well, one, diuretics happen, and I got pissed, so I'm not going to leave the camera there. Don't worry, it's not like a dirty, weird thing. It's just Uncle Potsquatch needs to piss. Hey, bloodshot bow fishing. Much love back to you, my friend. I hope you and your family are doing well as well. Your no greenhouse seeds. I don't even know what that minute means. Who's that? No, I feel you, Stephanie. You right, sister. You right. You've been right the whole time. I'm just really good at, you know, talking. Well, let's grab another glass of wine and we'll have a last little bit of the show. And then I'll move on to doing other things. Whoop. Yeah, diuretics are real and diuretics are a thing. It's a quick way to make yourself piss. Worst thing is when if you have like a morning beer with a morning coffee that you put whiskey into. Woo! I'll tell you, you'll be peeing there, I'll be honest. Well, Nathan Burrow, I am on septic, so typically I save up at least a few pees before I flush it down, to be honest. And plus the wife's not here right now, so I can get away with it. 1 second here. There we go. Ooh, 73 people watching, 73 likes. Trippy! I dig. 1 second here. It's funny, I remember when we first monetized, and like in the first week of monetization, what did we make? I think we made $14.25. What was your monthly income from your YouTube creations? Well, I made about $31.50. That's true. There are a lot of ideas. Good idea, Proud Little Mama. Like, there are ideas of what I could do. I guess it's just all kind of a newer thing to me, and I've been trying to struggle or contemplate as to how do we do that? How do I make it fair? How do I not take personal issue with the structuring of it? But at the same time, build in actual incentives for people to to do said memberships or want to do said memberships, right? And so that's kind of been the great debate back and forth in my bloody head, you know what I mean? Well, one, this is a 50-year-old riding vest. It's an extremely old one. I'd have to find, hell, who knows? Maybe Harley Davidson wants to work together. We can release a riding vest, both Harley Davidson and Potsquatch Growers. And, if they want to sponsor me and give me a Harley, I'm okay with that too. Just saying. Or Cadillac. Love Cadillacs. I'm a Cadillac and bike man. And then if I've got to buy a truck, I like Dodge trucks. Oh, honey, Stephanie, I'll tell you, I think business all day, but I will never take my heart out of business. That's what sets us apart as a company and as a business. And I'll never remove my heart and my ethics and morals from business, because the day I do that, I become our competition. And I consider myself a socialist capitalist. I believe I can make money and engage in business and be successful, but also give a hell of a lot back to the community and take care of people. And at the end of the day, I'm a fairly simple bastard. Bills are paid, got a little bit of savings in the bank, pay my mortgage, a couple cold beers in the fucking fridge, some food in the house, and food for my pets, and, good to go, right? But yeah. See, have you noticed that you're all stressing me out though, talking about all this? Have you noticed how many cigarettes I've smoked since we started talking about this? I'm not faking finding this all eerily stressful. Good times, everybody. No, exactly, proud little mama. And I think the thing I've struggled with or been stressed out about is that if I were to engage certain things, right, people will think that that's changing, or I'm changing, or I'm expecting something from everybody. And I don't want people to think that, right? I think that's one of my number one hang-ups on stuff, has been basically that. Because I didn't originally start this YouTube thinking it'd become a company. I didn't think it would become a lighting brand. I didn't think it would do a lot of the things that it's done. And now for the next steps of things, definitely need to be worried about fiscal realities and how do we get the money together to do the next stuff, right? That's why I really believe in the online grow store, because it'll be an easy access to a store that actually carries shit that's reliable and works. I'm not going to put a fucking single product on our store that I don't do or use or believe in. And that's just the fucking true fact of the fucking matter. And so if it's on my store, you can buy it and trust it. And so that's one of the things I really want to do for everybody. Plus, we've got the TV show we're trying to get picked up. I've been working and talked to a lot of people. There's maybe some potential people that are actual people in industries that may want to help or may be interested to hear my ideas on it recently. So we'll see what happens or comes about from that. But I'm going to make the show regardless. I don't care. I'm going to get there. But it's going to be a good one too. Trust me, everybody. It's going to be a fun fucking TV show. Strange Pots Unknown with the Potsquatch, an exploratory piece into the colloquial, historical, and the future of cannabis globally. With your host, Potsquatch. Done in the Anthony Bourdain style, reimagined by Harry Fuck living in the woods. What's up, Mo Chronic? How you doing, baby? Right? Well, let's just call SodaStream and be like, hey, release a Potsquatch version with a bigger tank and more affordable. A valid point. I like that, Stephanie. A good way to think about it. I agree. Hey, thank you, High Tower Gardens. I guess the thing I'm running into is my next steps and plans for everything cost money. Where I was able to, personally finance everything we've done so far that I've been able to do, or find partners to work with to do things like Brett and stuff, right? And definitely for the next steps on things, money's required. Budget for the TV show is super low when it comes to TV show budgets. We can shoot season 1 for 1.5 to 3 million, which is, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but in terms of film and television show, that's fucking nothing. Absolutely fuck all. But I've been also purposely designing it that way. Like, I didn't want it to be the show that required a huge crew, especially in terms of COVID. Like, I mean, I've been developing this TV show for almost 3 years now, but you know, especially in terms of COVID stuff, like limited crew, limited cast, limited everything. Like, I mean, it's very conducive to being able to produce and shoot things now in this modern day world, but make something that's still top notch and sexy as fuck and will be very engaging and beneficial to the audience that chooses to watch. It'll be entertaining, it's going to be educational, and it's going to be exploratory. And we're all going to get to kind of go on a global fucking journey of seeing all the different parts and communities of Wheat Titty around the world. I mean, that's part of it, right? I am emulating a basic premise from Anthony Bourdain's Strange Parts Unknown show. That kind of was the inspiration behind the initial idea that I've been then working on for almost 3 years, developing it from there and kind of working with that. It'll be a good show, though. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Just got to get that paycheck there. I've already got a director on board. I've already got a director/co-creator to kind of work with me with doing all the pre-production. You know, we've already predominantly got the crew ready to go, and basic plans at least in place. It's just more the paycheck to shoot the stupid thing, as it always is, I guess. But and at the end of the day, if I got to be on camera shooting something, you know, it makes a lot of sense to spend some time of my year shooting a season for a television show that not only did I create, but I believe in, and I really think will be a huge addition to the global community, the community of all of us in terms of stuff, right? So I think it'll be pretty good. So, long story short, I guess it's come to the end of the show. I apologize, but we just hit the 3-hour mark, everybody, and I do have a lot of other shit that I gotta do. There's always more shit for me to do. Lots of shit. But everyone, thank you for liking and subscribing when you choose to. It is not required. I wouldn't presume on our friendship, but thank you for all of you who have gathered here today and in previous days. Just know that I value and appreciate each and every one of you so much. All over the world, all of you. I really believe in the community and the brand and the little army we've created together. I believe in all of us. I believe in each and every one of you, both new and old, and those who haven't even joined our ranks yet. And I appreciate all that you do, all of you, each and every one of you. You're fucking awesome. And just know that Uncle Potsquatch loves you, and I'll always be there for you in the best of my abilities. And I'm sorry if I don't always see every message or email, but I'm doing my best. One day, hopefully, we have a few bucks enough that I can hire someone to kind of help me organize everything and function. But I could use an assistant, let's be honest. But keep it real, baby. Keep it sexy. Keep it true. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Treat yourself with compassion, and then treat those around you with twice as much compassion. Don't be an asshole, be an asshole, if that makes sense. Check out PotsquatchGrowers.com. It is where we sell the swag. You can't buy papers or grinders right now because our third-party payment providers have refused to process the sales of illicit drug paraphernalia. All right, whatever they say. But anyway, working on fixing that. We're going to have the new hats up pretty soon. Who knows? Maybe I'll even get to that tonight. The new hats are a little bit more expensive, so they're probably going to cost the same as the shirts did. I had to spend twice as much to get the new super hats, but they're vastly more durable, thicker brims, embroidered, bigger logos stitched into the hat. These fuckers will last 1,000 times longer than the first hats we had. And long story short, check out Squatch Lighting Systems, brought to you by Powered by Soul Strip. That's right. We are two little companies building lights for you, and that's right. Squatch Lighting. It's called accessible. It's called the future. It's called now. And my friends, thank you, everyone, for your kind words and tolerating the 30-minute interlude of us going over my seeming inability to, you know what I mean. But anyway, y'all mean more to me than I could ever say. Oh no, I know Justin M, but wait till you see the new hats. The new hats are even sexier. I wanted to make them better. They're the only product we brought in that I wasn't up to snuff in terms of my quality requirements. So actually, the people who do our shirts actually made the new hats. I gave them a chance at the contract. Cost me twice as much as the first hats, but I was really happy in the end with what they did and what they made. I basically told them I want the same hat, but I want it better and I want it more reliable. And they definitely came through with that. And yeah, masks would be a thing too. It's just, again, I don't have the money to do it, right? Like, I mean, I got to get money together to buy new products. I got a lot of money tied up in a lot of things that we got to sell and move first. But I'd like to bring out hoodies. I'd like to bring out female t-shirts. I'd like to bring out toques for the winter. There's a lot of stuff I want to do. But then we've also got to find the 50K to launch the garden supply store for all of you. So I'm working on all of that and trying to get there. But just know we will get there. Doesn't matter how goddamn long it takes me. I'll find a way. And I love you, each and every goddamn one of you. And keep it real. Keep it sexy. And keep it Potsquatch. Remember, the basic meaning of what it means to be a Potsquatch is it's an invitation to be the best version of ourselves. And we'll all stand together being those people. And goddamn it, we might be able to save this stupid world. Okay, everybody. I love you. I'm going to fuck off now, I think. Because if I keep talking about this stuff, I'm going to cry and get emotional. And I just love you guys and girls and season days, okay? Peace out, my Potsquatches. Keep it funky fresh, baby. Word to your mother. Peace.